Oklahoma rode the 1-2 punch of Kyler Murray and Rodney Anderson to 63 points last week. The Sooners up a slot to number 6. They're set for a stiffer test today as Chip Kelly and the new UCLA Bruins are in town.
Welcome to college football.
This is Fox College Football.
Smash Mouth Football. What a play!
We bring you the most enormous games in the best conferences.
How about this?
And the brightest stars bring out their talents.
The fact that you've been in those big atmospheres in your non-conference does nothing but season your team and get you ready for the stretch run.
Fox College Football starts right now.
Kyler Murray put off his promising MLB career for a one-and-done campaign with Oklahoma because of one belief. He feels Oklahoma can win the national championship. Step 2 of that quest next from Norman as we welcome you to the Fox College Football pregame show sponsored by Wendy's. Wendy's uses fresh, never frozen beef on every hamburger every day. It's only 8 games with 2 starts, but Sooners quarterback Kyler Murray has been nearly flawless since last season. Through the air, on the ground. Look, pick your poison if you're trying to slow this guy down. Our Jenny Tapp caught up with his head coach, Lincoln Riley.
Rob, thank you. Well, Lincoln, Chip Kelly said that Kyler Murray may be the most athletic quarterback he faces all year. We saw a preview of that last week. What do you expect from him tonight?
Just to continue to build. You know, last week was a good start for him. I think he's grown in a lot of ways. We'll have some different challenges that we'll face today. He will too, and needs to be able to respond to them the way he has up to this point.
Defensively, some good things from you guys last weekend, but when you face Chip Kelly, you expect that high-tempo offense. How do you stop it?
Yeah, you've got to be on your toes because they can score at any time. They've got a lot of speed. We know what a great mind he is. They'll have some good things for us, and we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to tackle and really communicate well.
Thank you, Lincoln.
All right, thank you.
Rob?
All right, Jenny, thank you. So fear of life post-Baker Mayfield was certainly calm last Saturday. 63 points and 650 yards of total offense has a tendency to do things like that. Folks out in Oklahoma starting to drink that Sooner Kool-Aid. Are they, though, in that rarefied era, Matty, of your Clemsons and your Alabamas right now?
I don't think so, not yet. And the reason why is defensively. And when you look at the Alabamas and the Clemsons of the world, they can dominate you on both sides of the football. Offensively, they can dominate you, and we know defensively how good they are. For Oklahoma, I still believe, even after week 1, that this Oklahoma offense will be one of the more explosive units in the country. But defensively, against better teams and quality opponents this season, can a defense shut down that offense if Kyler Murray in this offense gets challenged? That's the question I have for this team moving forward.
Yeah, and that's legitimate. You know, the one thing that I saw that encouraging with this Oklahoma defense, they were more of a 3-4. They kind of gone back and forth the last 2 or 3 years, but I did not see any guys turn loose. You know, and from a coaching standpoint, if you see guys running down the sideline free or you see a big gapping hole inside, that means that the players are not focused in. Maybe you're doing too much. There's a problem. I didn't see that. I think Mike Stoops has cleaned up their defense, tightened it up. Now, just what you said, there's going to be games when it's raining, snowing, windy, and the offense cannot, obviously go out there and function at a high level, and the defense got to win those games. That's wait and see.
Yeah, I'm still concerned about the defense. I want to see it against a better opponent. This was FAU. They gave up more than 300 yards rushing to Georgia in the playoff a year ago. And let's pump the brakes just a little bit on Kyler Murray. I know he looked fantastic against FAU, but it was FAU. You look at the separation that he had between himself and the defensive lineman when he made some of those throws. The separation between the wide receiver and the defensive back. Quarterbacks are just like golfers, Matt. It's not how you are at your best, it's how you are at your worst. I want to see what he does when he's really challenged, and that's when Baker Mayfield really thrived. We don't know yet if Kyler Murray can do that.
Yeah, the one thing about Murray, though, that I think might separate him, Clemson's kind of got a runner and a passer, right? I mean, Alabama's got a runner and a passer. This kid can do both. So as he gains enough experience, he could be he could be real dangerous, I think, as the season goes forward.
And the personality of Baker Mayfield, he had a tendency to lift up the defense, the offense, just because the emotions. Is Kyler Murray that guy? You know, we're not sure yet.
We got some games already. Fox College Saturday pregame presented by Wendy's, the official hamburger of NCAA football. What a 7-day run it's been for Lee Morris. Last Saturday, blocked a punt that was recovered for a touchdown. Also hauled in a 65-yard scoring strike. But the big news, Monday, he was put on full scholarship. Congratulations, Lee. Fox has collaborated with USA Today's sports social news site For the Win on its yearly fan index, ranking college football fan experiences through social voting. Last week, we asked you who has college football's best stadium. Georgia Sanford Stadium, the winner, gents.
Bit of a surprise there.
All right.
There he is.
We loaded up the voting. This week's question, what college football team has the biggest celebrity fan or fans? To ensure your vote counts, you must include hashtag FanIndex and the proper hashtag team name. For more info to find your team's hashtag, to vote, visit collegefootballfanindex.com. Will Ferrell gets my vote.
There's some bandwagon fans right there.
Let's focus on some impact players. We begin with another feel-good story from the Sooners camp, Rodney Anderson.
Yeah, Rodney Anderson, their starting tailback. I mean, you know, when you need some leadership to replace Baker Mayfield, he's the perfect player on the field and off the field. You know, Rodney's overcome 2 surgeries, and he came back last year, you know, played the last 7 games, but in 8 games, his last 8 games, this guy scored 16 touchdowns, guys. Twice, he scored 4 touchdowns a game. And then in the biggest game of the year, this is usually what separates players in my mind. Hey, against Georgia last year, the guy scored 2 touchdowns and averaged 7.5 yards a carry.
From the great, but not great, numeric files comes the numbers last week from this guy.
Yeah, Darius Pickett, guys, is a safety at UCLA. If you go back to last year, the defense really struggled, but he was second on the team in tackles with 85. This year, last week against Cincinnati, the 15 total tackles. It's a good or a bad thing when your safety's leading you in tackles, but that just proves he's always around the ball. He is a playmaker. Coach, 195 pounds. He's smaller, but he will line up in the box to try and slow down your guy, Rodney Anderson, and Kyler Murray in the run game, and he certainly can cover the pass deep. So expect him, obviously, to just be around the ball and make a lot of plays for this defense today.
Robert, we've seen some movement at the linebacker spot for Oklahoma.
Yeah, we have. And you talk about a feel-good story. Curtis Bolton, season-ending ankle surgery a year ago, graduated over the summer, could have transferred, decided to stick it out, even though he wasn't the starter initially, but he was named the starter, got his first career start against FAU, 6 tackles in that game, named Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. What a tremendous story. 6 tackles also. He's going to be a big part of the improvement or what they want for improvement out of that defense. Mike Stoops really loves this kid. It's such a great story to see that perseverance finally paying off.
On the other side of the field, Chip Kelly, boy, he knows he's got his hands full against the Sooners today. He sat down with our Bruce Feldman, who asked him, how has the college game evolved since he left Oregon in 2012?
I think the game has changed. You know, when I left, we were a spread team with shiny helmets, and now it looks like everybody's a spread team with shiny helmets. So I think the coaches that are best figure out what their players can do and put them in position to make plays.
Loss, Casimir Allen hit for a 74-yard touchdown run, the longest by a true freshman Bruin. Youth, one of the main themes for year 1 of Chip Kelly. In 4 seasons in charge at Oregon, Kelly amassed a record of 46 wins, just 7 losses. One of those defeats in the 2011 BCS National Championship game. After a turbulent 2-team stint in the NFL, Kelly back in the conference that he once dominated. Here's our Bruce Feldman with what the Bruins hope is going to be the new Wizard of Westwood.
At what point was it last year that you decided, it crystallized, hey, I want to go back and be a college football coach?
I've always just looked at whatever opportunities were out there and then tried to figure out what was the best opportunity for me. And I had other opportunities that I would have passed on. And probably if I didn't get involved at UCLA, I probably would have passed on all of them. I just felt like this was a good fit.
You obviously spent a long time working with college players, and you go to the NFL for a few years. Do you relate to them differently?
There is an age gap. You know, just you're dealing with 17 and 18-year-old kids sometimes where you're dealing with 30-year-olds. You know, I love my time in the NFL. I think the players there are awesome. They want to be coached, and they want to be successful. And in college, you're still trying to help young men transition, from high school to going out on their own.
Boy, this offense is going to be tough to stop.
This offense is so good.
When you took over Oregon, you had already been there. Any similarities to taking over this program compared to what you took over there?
It's totally different because I was there for 2 years as an assistant too, so everything wasn't brand new for what we've inherited. We're extremely young. Everything's fresh, and because of our youth, we're gonna have to rely on a lot of freshmen.
Are there things where the game has evolved where you're like, okay, we can't do exactly what we may have done in 2011 or 12 in college football now?
Yeah, I think the game has changed. When I left, we were a spread team with shiny helmets, and now it looks like everybody's a spread team with shiny helmets. So I think the coaches that are best figure out what their players can do and put them in position to make plays.
My eyes have been open, you're showing me all of my life in a new light. Every step, every breath, like it's the first time.
It's been a USC town for a long time. Is that something that we got to beat them, or is it just, hey, we're going to worry about us? What is your approach to being that way?
I think Coach Wooden said it best. We're worried about ourselves. So, I don't care. I don't get caught up in any of that stuff. We're trying to be better than we were yesterday. So if we can get better on a daily basis, look at it really micro, not macro, I think we'll be okay.
Coach, you feel the sky is the limit for Chip Kelly, but why now when it hasn't worked in the past with other high-profile coaches?
Well, he's very confident. You can just read that, just hearing him talk. And he has a blueprint for success. So he's going to be able to transition this program a lot faster than another coach coming from the outside and figuring out how long they want to practice and how long they want to meet and what areas that they need to recruit to be competitive and compete at the high level in the Pac-12. Facility-wise, he came from Oregon. They had the best in the country. He knows what they got to do, and he's got the support at UCLA. So I see the transition really happening quick. And he's playing young kids. There's going to be 12 to 14 freshmen play today, offense, defense, and special teams. So he's building this thing from the ground up.
Yeah, and you hit on it, Coach. Talk about the commitment from the school. You have to have complete buy-in. You've got to have support. And I think because of what happened with Rick Neuhauser, with Jim Mora, I think that the school felt, look, we've got to make a change. We've got to be fully committed to this. We've got to give him all the resources that we need. And then we've got to go and get a coach that can squeeze the most out of a roster. This is a guy with creativity and innovative thoughts about offense, and the guy that can get people in the right positions. Question is, on the defensive side of the ball, is he going to be able to do the recruiting over there? But I think because of his name, because of what he's been able to do, he's going to be able to recruit. He's going to be able to get those players here. I think it's going to be a different story for UCLA. In
the immediate future, his concern right now, how to contain Kyler Murray. So what makes this two-sport star so difficult to defend? Matt Leinart takes a fresh look, sponsored by Wendy's, the official hamburger of NCAA football.
Well, Rob, he truly is a dual-threat quarterback. He's an efficient passer, and obviously he's a great athlete. And I pulled a couple plays from last week's game against FAU to really showcase this skill set. We're going to let this play go because he truly is elusive. Right here, this is like a video game. This is backyard football. You can't coach it. You can't teach it. He's going to make multiple guys miss. And this is the weapon he is on this offense, even more so than Baker Mayfield from a year ago, gets a big first down. Now we're going to showcase the arm strength right here. First is a little play action pass to get him outside the pocket where he truly can utilize his arm or his legs. Now, I understand this play. Great pocket. Nobody's rushing the quarterback. He's got all time to throw. The receiver's going to be wide open. It's going to be a touchdown. But I love this because Lincoln Riley gets him on the edge, which allows him to truly become that dual-threat quarterback. That's going to put a lot of pressure on defenses. Rob, I think we're going to see more of these plays today against UCLA.
Hey, Matty, you know what makes him better? Hollywood! Yeah, he's got a Hollywood-worthy option to go to. Marquise Brown targeted 8 times last week, 6 grabs, and his 4th career 100-yard game. One more time, Matt.
Hollywood!
Sooners, UCLA next on Fox.
Off the field, I really like all of the comic book movies, like the Avengers and Captain America and even the DC universe. I'm scuba diving certified, so I like to do adventurous things like that. And I love my dog. He's a Rottweiler named Rafiki.
I like watching movies. I like playing video games. I like to play PUBG right now. It's a fun game I like to play with my buddies. I am the best video game player on this team.
Off the field, my favorite Netflix show is Prison Break. I love watching movies, and I just like chilling with my girlfriend.
I enjoy sleeping right after I eat a big meal. My favorite NBA player is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I like playing Fortnite.
You heard from Rodney Anderson. There he is on the field, right at 100 yards rushing last week. It was his 7th 100-yard game in his last 9 outings. You guys all see Oklahoma putting up points, winning in a comfortable fashion today. So let's go with the scoreline and what you're looking forward to seeing from in this one.
Well, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, can this offense look better? Obviously, true freshman quarterback gets thrust into action because of an injury. But I think just week 1 to week 2, 72% of this roster is freshmen. And you know what it's like, Matt. That first game as a freshman, wide-eyed, things are really fast. How much are they going to improve in week 2 with a little bit more comfort?
For me, my eyes are on Oklahoma's defense. They played really well last week against FAU. Kind of challenged them a little bit earlier in this show about just starting to stack these good performances. I think they have an opportunity against a true freshman quarterback today. Want to see him play fundamental, sound defense, carry that momentum into next week.
Yeah, you're talking about the true freshman quarterback. I mean, Oklahoma's going to score points. Last week, they had ball control. I think they threw 1 ball down the field. They completed 15 passes, UCLA did. Today, he's going to have to throw the ball deep, and they're going to have to be accurate to keep up with the scoring of Oklahoma.
How about this? Was the offensive ease without Baker a blip or a new trend in Norman? And can Chip Kelly get that magic working sooner than most expected? Watch out, Coach. You've
there it is,
run over
Sooner
by that.
Scooter! Boomer Sooner, baby!
They got 2 horses pulling it now.
We're out to Oklahoma after this.
Gaylord family, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, also known as the Palace on the Prairie. And welcome to Norman, where the number 6 Oklahoma Sooners are ready to take on the UCLA Bruins. Gus Johnson along with my partner Joel Clack. And welcome to Norman, Oklahoma. We were here last week for the big victory, OU defeating Florida Atlantic. We all wanted to know about Kyler. We found out that he's a pretty good quarterback.
I would say so. Listen, he's very talented, right? I was more impressed with his accuracy and his ability to pass the football down the field, namely to Hollywood Brown all the way down the field. A couple of really nice throw and catches for a touchdown for Hollywood Brown. And another thing Murray did great, his leadership, right? He comes out there, he's not trying to be Baker Mayfield, he leads in his own way. He did a great job. That starting unit for Oklahoma, 30 plays, 406 yards, and 13.5 yards per play. To say they were dominant was an understatement.
Offense played extremely well, but Joel, I was impressed with the defense. They played with a chip on their shoulder.
And they needed to, right? Because last year in that playoff against Georgia, they gave up over 50 points and 317 yards rushing. So they wanted to come out this year and prove that they were not the weak link. Well, you do that 2 ways, Gus. Personnel and fundamentals. Fundamentally, they were much better last week against FAU, and the personnel is better. Development and size up front, and then guys like Buki, Radley, Hiles in the back end. One of the most talented true freshmen in the country playing safety. This dude can play.
All right, the Chip Kelly era began last week at the Rose Bowl. The Bruins falling to Cincinnati. And this is a team going through a transition.
And it's going to take a little while for UCLA. Listen, they got the right guy. This was the best coaching hire of the offseason. Chip Kelly is one of the great coaches in college football. His first season did not start out like he wanted, but guess what? His first season as the head coach for Oregon did not start out like he wanted in a loss to Boise State. The main thing for Chip is he's developing young players, namely the quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. This will be his first collegiate start. How about this? 6th-ranked Sooners on the other side. What an environment for your first college start.
All right, time now for Progressive Insurance Pre-Kick Flow. This is a series that dates back to 1986. The Sooners have won 3 of the 4 meetings against the Bruins. Coming up, the opening kickoff from Norman, Oklahoma. Hollywood time on Fox. Welcome back. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Norman, Oklahoma. We're ready for UCLA and OU. Time now to join the third member of our team on the sideline, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft.
Well, Gus, the last time these two teams played was 2005. Adrian Peterson was a Sooner. Well, the Bruins won that game, but 13 years later, this is a new-look UCLA led by Chip Kelly. He is well aware just how good of an opponent he is facing today, but their schedule doesn't get any easier from here on out. We asked him about it earlier this week, and he said, we don't want to play easy teams. If you want to do that, you're not a competitor. And as for Lincoln Riley, his message, forget the fact that the Bruins lost their opener. This is a quality opponent coming into our house to play. These non-conference opportunities don't happen every day. We will be ready to go.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. Perfect weather for football. Last week, folks, when we were here for the Florida-Atlantic game, it was about 95 degrees at kickoff time. Today, a cool 70 degrees, and we're ready for OU and UCLA.
Gus, generally, you're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are. We thought OU were world beaters after last week, and we thought UCLA was going to struggle all year. Something tells me UCLA is going to play better than we think, and OU might struggle to keep that same pace and excellence that we saw against Florida Atlantic.
OU won the toss deferred, so UCLA to receive. Austin Seibert will kick it away. Darnay Holmes and Darius Pickett back deep for the Bruins. Oklahoma, UCLA, and we're underway from Norman. This one kicked deep into the end zone for touchback. And so that will bring out Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
For young players, generally their biggest jump comes from game 1 to game 2. Now, he didn't start in week 1, but he played the majority of the game after Wilton Spate, the graduate transfer, went down with a back injury. So his first start here comes today. This game plan will likely look different for UCLA fans than it looked last week. I expect more quarterback-featured runs. We'll see if they do that here on the first series.
Look at the atmosphere he faces. True freshman quarterback for UCLA. He was a 4-star recruit. Arrived in Westwood this summer. First down and 10 at the 25. He'll roll out, throwing the run. That one sailing high, intended for Caleb Wilson.
They're trying to get the ball to really one of their most sure-handed offensive weapons, the tight end, Caleb Wilson. His dad played here at Oklahoma back in the 80s. It's got to be quite a thrill for him to come here and play on this field like his dad did back in 1988.
That brings up second down and 10 at the 25. Joshua Kelly, number 27, the pistol back. Thompson-Robinson hands it off, and no room there for Joshua Kelly. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Mark Jackson and Kenneth Mann leading the way. And we talked a lot about Kenneth Mann in our meeting yesterday with the coaches.
Mike Stoops said this guy played like a man last week against Florida Atlantic, and he's already doing a nice job here today.
Richard Jr. from Burleson, Texas. Third down and 10 at the 25. Opening series for UCLA. Thompson-Robinson looking with time underneath, and it's caught. Diamond lead, but he is dropped immediately. Kenneth Murray with the tackle. UCLA 3 and out. And I tell you what, you see Kenneth Murray in street clothes, he looks like a superhero. He looks like the real Luke Cage Power Man.
Listen, this guy started as a true freshman last year at middle linebacker for Oklahoma. You don't do that unless you're exceptionally talented. And he's going to grow into his own. I believe that he's going to have a big year for them on this defensive side. He's grown into a leadership role, and he's clearly one of the more talented players on the field.
Stephen Flintoff will send it away. C.D. Lamb, the sophomore, standing at his own 30. Flintoff drives it far side, and that one goes out of bounds. And a little pushing and shoving and trash talking going on. Special teams between these two fired up programs. So it looks like Oklahoma will have the ball around the 45-yard line. Great field position for Kyler Murray. making his second start this season, replacing Baker Mayfield, 6th overall college start.
I think the perception, Gus, is that he's more experienced than he is. You know, this is only his 6th start, and he does need to continue to get reps, get his feet wet, and continue to prove that he can consistently get the ball down the field and throw it with accuracy like he did in week 1 in the passing game.
He was 9 of 11 for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries, 23 yards, and he left the game with 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 1st and 10 at the 45. And I thought Lincoln Riley was very...
False start. Number 56, offense. 5-yard penalty. So first down.
I thought Lincoln Riley had some interesting comments about taking on UCLA compared to Florida Atlantic. You're taking on Division I athletes, big-time Division I athletes in this game. It's going to be a difference.
There's just a difference with the Power 5 program, all right? And Lane Kiffin would even tell you that, the head coach of FAU. They're going to be dealing with some guys that can clearly run, including an outside linebacker that was a 5-star kid, Jalen Phillips, who's one of the better players in the Pac-12.
First down and 15 after the penalty. Rodney Anderson in the backfield. Play fake. Here's Murray going downtown. Incomplete. Hollywood Brown, the intended receiver, no flag on the play. Darnay Holmes was right in his hip pocket, and he says, no, no, no.
Well, Darnay Holmes, the sophomore, he was running step for step. Now, you're going to want a penalty if you're Oklahoma, but I think this was incidental. It was more foot contact than anything. Well, actually, no. I'm going to correct myself. What a great look from our camera crew right there. Holmes clearly arrived early. Definitely should have been a flag.
Holmes, a sophomore from Pasadena, California. He went to Calabasas, 2nd and 15 at the 40. Anderson, the single setback with Kyler Murray. Here's Murray to toss it. Looks underneath. Ball caught. C.D. Lamb, what a catch. One-handed out of bounds at midfield.
Yo, watch this catch. I mean, this ball is clearly behind him. Watch it right. Reach back. What? He reached back one-handed, grabbed it out of the air, and continued running. Oh, my goodness.
C.D. Lamb set the OU freshman records for receptions and yards in a game against Texas Tech with 9 for 147. Last year, 46 catches for C.D. Lamb for 807 yards and 7 touchdowns. 3rd down and 5 at midfield. Murray steps up in the pocket, dumps it off, and they have the first down. Calcaterra, who they are so high on. And he's a California kid. Rancho Santa Margarita. Oklahoma quickly to the line of scrimmage. First down. Here's the handoff. Anderson, flag on the play as he crunches forward and picks up about 8.
I think they caught UCLA offside there. It might have been just in alignment.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield. Offense. 5-yard penalty. So first down.
Well, this is the problem when you go too fast, right? And there are some young guys for Oklahoma, and they just didn't have enough guys lined up on the line of scrimmage and get the call. I thought they were going to get Jalen Phillips, that outside linebacker I was talking about. He's lining up awful close to that line of scrimmage. Now, remember, up front, we've got Creed Humphrey making his start. He did not start last week at center, so a new center for Oklahoma than we had a week ago.
First down at 15 at the 47. Hollywood Brown in motion. They dump it to him in the flats. That one thrown high and incomplete. Marquise Brown.
Anytime you can get the ball to him in any fashion, it's a win for the offense. And that time, as a quarterback, Kyler Murray's just got to put it on his frame. You know, on those swing routes, in particular when you got fast guys like Hollywood Brown, you've got to hit him dead in the chest.
Is that a hard throw? It looks like a hard throw.
Very hard. One of the harder throws that you have to make because he's generally running directly away from you, and you've got to put it in about a 1-foot box on his upfield shoulder. Very difficult to do.
Second down and 15 at the 47. Murray to throw it again. Far side, caught. C.D. Lamb tries to turn it up, and he'll be wrestled down by Nate Metters.
Here we go again on a 3rd down, and an opportunity for UCLA to get off the field potentially. Remember, on the last 3rd down, they went to Grant Calcaterra, the tight end, and he's replacing Mark Andrews, the Mackey Award winner. And Mark Andrews made his entire living here at Oklahoma on 3rd down.
3rd and 10 at the 42. Andrews in the slot at the top of your screen. Play fake. Murray sprinting out of the pocket, throws on the move, and it's caught. Looks like it is a catch. That's Miles Tees, and it's a first down for OU.
I think the back official may have run in and called that incomplete. Yeah, exactly. So we got the front official that's calling that a completed catch. He's got the best view of that. And the back official, the side judge, ran in late and overruled for an incompletion.
So that'll make it 4th down and 10 for Oklahoma. And the Sooners will have to punt it away. So if I'm UCLA, that's a win.
No doubt. Huge win for that defense for UCLA. OU getting on the plus side of the 50, and the Bruins still forcing a punt.
Kyle Phillips, the deep man, as Austin Seibert, one of the few combo punter place kickers in college football. They say that Austin is a pro, but the big decision for him is whether he's going to be a kicker or a punter.
Punt, young man. Punt.
Yeah, but the glory is in the place kicking, as you know, Joel.
Yeah, but the length of career is in punting.
4th down and 15. Good snap. Seibert pops it in the air. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So Dorian Thompson-Robinson, young man from Las Vegas, true freshman, playing in the biggest game of his career at OU. He'll be on the field right after this. Fox College Football is presented by AT&T Business, providing edge-to-edge intelligence. And is sponsored by the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Got some NBA guys in the house tonight. Look at that. Russell Westbrook played at UCLA for Ben Howland. That's Buddy Hield, number 14. And Trae Young, 2 former Sooner stars in the NBA now. 1st down and 10 to the 20. Thompson-Robinson rolling out of the pocket, throws underneath, and it's incomplete. Some hard hitting going on. Theo Howard, the intended receiver, but Parnell Motley, the junior from D.C. with the stop.
And he just sat right in his zone and allowed that play to come to him. Then he goes low, not to the head or neck area, leads with the shoulder. That's just textbook.
2nd down and 10 to the 20-yard line. I love these DBs for OU. Motley, Buki, Norwood, Broyles, Houghton. Here's the option, and the pitch goes to Kelly. He is strung out and taken down. Kenneth Murray.
Here's the problem. If you're going to run option, you've got to have the running back more even with you. Watch how the running back is way behind the pitch, and at that point he's pitching it essentially backwards. So the alignment just totally off for UCLA, and Ryan Jones is able to make the play here late, coming up along with Kenneth Murray.
That's a loss of 6. 3rd down and 16 at the 14-yard line for the Bruins. Thompson-Robinson fires over the middle, and it's caught. Big time catch coming up for Caleb Wilson. Wilson down the sideline. Can he get there and out of bounds at the 20? Khalil Houghton and Trey Norwood push him out of bounds, a gain of 63.
The safety there, Khalil Houghton got way off the hash all the way out to the number, and Caleb Wilson just runs right up the seam. Easy pitch and catch. How about the throw from the true freshman? And Caleb Wilson turns on the Jets.
He's a redshirt junior from Dallas. 1st and 10 at the 21. Thompson-Robinson runs it with room, and he'll pick up maybe 9 on the play. Buki with the tackle.
And that's what I thought we would see more of this week than we did last week for UCLA when they played Cincinnati, is the quarterback featured zone read. That's just a give to the running back. If the defensive end squeezes down, the quarterback keeps it around the edge. That's simple stuff for a young quarterback, and he's got the athleticism to make it work.
2nd down and 1 at the 12. And a handoff straight ahead. Casimir Allen picks up the 1st down for the Bruins.
And this is what you have to do as a defensive end. Watch the defensive end here. He's just going to come up the field, and he's just going to sit right there and force the handoff. You got to force that ball out of the hands of the quarterback, because the quarterback's going to hurt you a lot more than the running back will. Force him to hand it off, then squeeze down and make the tackle.
Gain of 3. First down and goal at the 9. Bolu. Ola run for me. Checks in at running back. And they give it on the end around. Casimir Allen. Looks like a touchdown, UCLA.
Stepped out of bounds.
And they're saying he got out of bounds at the 3.
There was just an excellent block on the edge by Theo Howard, one of the veterans for this team. He was blocking Parnell Motley, squeezed the corner way down, allowed Allen to get the edge. And Allen is one of the fastest players in the entire country. He set the state record in California in the 100-meter in high school at 10.4. This dude can fly.
And Chip Kelly knows about fast guys. Remember, he had DeAnthony, the Black Mamba, at Oregon. Second down and goal at the 3. Ola run from me remains in the game.
First charge timeout, UCLA.
And Chip Kelly calls a timeout. 9:04 to go, no score, but the Bruins are knocking on the door with these young guys on the road. Wilton Spate, graduate transfer quarterback from Michigan, who was the starter last week, injured his back in the first half against Cincinnati, unavailable. Second down and goal from the 3-yard line for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And he'll hand it off. Ola run for me. Can he get in? Looks like he's down.
There is no play.
Mark Jackson with the tackle.
They announced we had a hard signal there, but they announced that there was no play there for some reason. I don't quite know why. So looks like it'll be again from the 3-yard line. Really confusing what's going on here with the officials, guys.
Second down and goal from the 3. Ola run for me. And he submarines into the end zone for a touchdown. So how about this? UCLA striking first, 8:59 to play in the first quarter. And the Bruins have a chance to take a 7-0 lead.
I think that the key block here is the tight end. Watch Caleb Wilson as he's going to squeeze all the way down, but then he gets in front of his man and walls him off and creates the seam. That's the seam that Ola Rumfremy hits, and he's able to squeeze through and score a touchdown. So Wilson with a big grab on that series, and then 6'4", 235 walls it off. Great block inside.
J.J. Molson will come in to attempt the extra point. Oklahoma so dominant last week. 28-0 after the first quarter against Florida Atlantic. Different story. Kyler Murray has to get this offense going. He's already thrown more incompletions in this game than he did all of last week. J.J. Molson, extra point. And it's good. 7-0 UCLA. 7-play, 80-yard drive. The big 65-yard reception. Caleb Wilson set him up nice, and the Bruins go up. Time down for SoFi Power of Ambition.
I think in your non-conference makes a big difference for you going into conference play. You know, the fact that you've been in those big atmospheres, important games against quality opponents does nothing but season your team.
Power of Ambition, sponsored by SoFi, a personal finance company to fit your goals. So Lincoln Riley and the Sooners find themselves down at home 7-0 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, just a really good second series offensively for UCLA. Really jump-started, Gus, by that long completion to Caleb Wilson. A nice throw from the true freshman there over the middle.
Wilson sends it away. Sutton and Trey Brown are back deep. And this would be Trey Brown straight ahead. Trey Brown still on the move at the 40. It's a corner. Trey Brown down the sideline, high stepping, and finally tackled out of bounds. What a return for Trey Brown, the sophomore from Tulsa.
Well, you're going to get a mistake here from UCLA. Watch 24, Jay Shaw. As he comes up to take on the block, look, he jumped to the right side, and now there's a huge lane right there for Trey to take off to the left side. Easy return there, and it's all set up by the kickoff team not staying in their lanes. You've got to do your job, or else there's going to be a big play on the other side.
Arcelius Sutton, number 21, with a great block on that return. An 85-yard return for the Sooners. So they'll start first down and 10 at the UCLA 12-yard line.
Let's see if they go to the run game here. They did not attempt a rushing play on that first series. After last week, they had over 8 yards per carry. Anderson had over 20 yards per carry. And they're going to come out with an empty backfield here. Kyler, the only guy in the backfield.
Remember, Murray's got great feet. He can run it. First down and 10 at the 12.
Big lanes in the defense right now, too.
Murray, quarterback draw, gets outside, wiggles, and finally is wrestled down at the 5-yard line. Adarius Pickett with the tackle.
Key block there comes from their adjuster back, their fullback, Carson Meyer. Lines up just in the backfield. He's able to pull around, pin the linebacker, and that's what allowed Murray to get to the outside.
So Rodney Anderson checks in. Anderson with a 100-yard game a week ago on 5 carries. Second down and 3 at the 5. Anderson straight ahead, pulls his way close to the first down. Looks like he'll be short. Keyshawn, Lucier South, Obonya combining on the tackle.
Big into bringing in the big fellas. Troy James, a defensive tackle in the game, number 94. He's 300 pounds. Redshirt freshman from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Third down and 1 at the 3. There's a big boy. Out of the I formation. Anderson. Touchdown Sooners. Mr. Anderson.
Well, the key is the movement that you're going to get from these two players, and then you're going to pull the guard around the edge. And Anderson just does a nice job of being patient, finding the seam, and then you get behind your pads and bull your way into the end zone.
So Rodney Anderson with the touchdown. Oklahoma extra point. Seibert. And we are level at 7. 7:20 to play. First quarter, big time return for Trey Brown. And Oklahoma levels it 7-up. Fox College football presented by AT&T Business is sponsored by Domino's. Order online and track your order. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Game tied at 7. You know they broke the schooner last week, Joel.
Well, they scored 63. I don't think it's quite made for that. You know, they've been running that schooner forever.
As we take a look, 3 plays, 12 yards, 139. Big play. Trey Brown, 86-yard kickoff return. For UCLA will get it again. Seibert. And he drills this one deep, as usual, out of bounds. Now our college football triple-header continues next as rivals Iowa and Iowa State go head-to-head. Then Pac-12 Power square off as Bryce Love and Stanford battle USC. It's all right here on Fox, on the Fox Sports app.
That Cy-Hawk Trophy, Iowa State, they didn't get a chance to play week 1, so that's a big advantage for Iowa in that ball game. And then we'll see if Bryce Love can get going after not having a great week 1. Now, granted, he's going up against USC team Gus. They gave up 300 yards of rushing to UNLV, so something tells me that Bryce could get going tonight against the Trojans.
First down and 10 at the 25. Casimir Allen in the backfield. Play fake. Thompson Robinson in trouble. Stays on his feet. Gets out of the pocket. And goes down at the 20. So that is a sack. A 5-yard loss. Trey Brown defensively.
Just an unbelievable job escaping the pressure in the backfield. But this is where the true freshman mistake happens. Once he's out on the edge, throw the ball away. Create 2nd and 10, not 2nd and 15.
And that's what it is, 2nd and 15 from the 20-yard line. Play fake. Thompson Robinson, and he is smashed. Kenneth Murray, shot out of a cannon. Power man.
And it wasn't even a blitz. Watch Gus as Murray is just going to sit. Now he's going to come. Boom. Right up the middle. But he didn't come right away, which allowed that offensive lineman to get separated, creating the seam. And then here comes Kenneth Murray for the sack.
Also, Neville Gallimore was a disruptor, number 90. 3rd down and 21 at the 14. Ola run for me. Comes into the game. And they'll give it to him. Conservative play for Chip Kelly. Amani Bledsoe, first man to Ola run for me. And the Bruins will have to punt.
It was conservative, you're right, partner, but it was the right call with a young quarterback, because a punt is way better than an interception right there, or a fumble, or some sort of mistake. You know, you get the crowd noise up a little bit. You can clearly see the elevated heart rate and the pace of play starting to get a little too quick for your offense. So a nice play call there.
C.D. Lamb, the deep man, as Stephen Flintoff stands inside his own 5. Gets it away. Oklahoma blocked a punt last week against Florida Atlantic. C.D. Lamb at the 30. Trying to get outside, and he's ridden out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Good special teams coverage by the Bruins. Let's go to Greg Wolf in Los Angeles for a game break.
Gus, thanks. We go to Manhattan, Kansas. Number 18, Mississippi State taking on K-State. Bulldogs firing on all cylinders with Nick Fitzgerald back under center. This time they keep it on the ground. Kylan Hill, 28-yard touchdown run. Has 100 yards rushing already on 6 touches. Bulldogs lead 17-3 just before halftime. Gus, Joel, back to you.
Kansas State still struggling, and Mississippi State, that's a team that I have high hopes for this year. I love their new coach, Joe Moorhead. He was the offensive coordinator for Penn State the last couple of years, and their great run with Saquon Barkley, and I think he's going to do really good things there in Starkville, and they're off to a good start today in Manhattan, Kansas.
First down to the 28-yard line for OU. Anderson bounces it outside, gets downhill, and finally taken down at the 31-yard line as Darius Pickett and Toyaloa come up with the tackle. 2nd and 7. Murray, play action with time. Fires. Calcaterra, intended receiver. That's knocked away, but a flag. Nate Metters defensively for the Bruins.
Metters was step for step, and this ball was thrown behind Grant Calcaterra. So when he stopped.
Pass interference. Number 22, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. That's an automatic first down.
Metters is trying to turn back around when Calcaterra stops, right? He's running step for step. He's in great position right here. And then the hand comes out. See it up on the face mask right there? Good call by the officials. It wasn't a lot of contact, but clearly impacting Calcaterra's ability to get back to that ball.
Metters, a big-time NFL prospect. He opted for one more college season rather than the NFL draft. Did not allow a single touchdown pass last season. 1st and 10 at the 46. Anderson and Sermon in the split backfield behind Kyler Murray.
I think this is when they're at their most dangerous. 2 backs in the backfield.
Sermon bottled up. Tries to get outside. The terrific pursuit by the UCLA defense as Jalen Phillips gets him. A Darius Pickett also in on the play.
Yeah, Phillips can run. I mean, watch Phillips. Phillips is going to be right here at the kind of the bottom of your screen. He's going to get blocked all the way down. Now watch 15. He's all the way in the middle. Now he's running on the outside, and he shows you the speed to bring Sermon to the ground.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 46. Phillips, a sophomore from Redlands, California. Anderson. And Anderson. Well, they got to him quickly. We talked to Lincoln Riley in his office yesterday, and there weren't a lot of things to criticize about OU's performance against Florida Atlantic, but he did talk about protection.
And that's, you know, the thing was is they were great in the run game, and they have not been all that great today in the run game. Big credit there to number 92, Osa Odigizua, redshirt sophomore from Portland. His brother played at UCLA, was a draft pick back in 2014. So he's kind of in that lineage of Odigizua's here at UCLA.
Third down and 14 at the 42. Kyler Murray delivers, and it's caught. Hollywood! Lights, camera, action! Hollywood Brown, 58 yards. Game changer.
Hey, sometimes your Jimmy's just got to be better than their Joe's, and that's this case right here. Hollywood Brown, just a simple little hook route, and then he's gone. Safety doesn't keep his feet, and once this guy gets a step, it is over. Over.
Marquise Brown had a touchdown last week, 133 receiving yards and limited action. And right now, he gives OU a 14-7 lead. He's got feline quickness, folks. One of the best receivers in America, and his quarterback loves it. 14-7 Sooners. All right, here are the Go RVing sights and sounds from the beautiful campus here in Norman, Oklahoma.
Great college football environments in all of America.
So much history here. These are champions at Oklahoma. Right now, Kyler Murray happy to have number 5 on his team, 14-7.
I mean, 3rd and 14, it's like, hey, where's number 5? I'm going to throw it to that guy.
Very interesting. Talked to Hollywood on the phone this week. He said, yeah, I had to fly to Dallas to talk to Kyler about one thing and one thing in particular. And I said, what? He said, I had to tell him to make sure under all circumstances he throws me the ball.
Oh, man. You know, I love wide receivers, but I hated them all at the same time, right? It's like you don't want to have to deal with that until it's 3rd and 14. And Murray did a great job of throwing that ball on time, right? That's his role in this, is you throw it on time to give Hollywood Brown the most amount of time to make a move after the catch. And then Marquise says, I'm gone.
And he also told me, he said, I tell you what, Gus, Kyler can really throw the ball. He can put it on me. First down and 10 of the 25. Thompson Robinson underneath, and it's Caleb Wilson once again close to first down. You know, Hollywood says he got all his speed from his mom, and for more, let's go to Jenny Taft.
Well, Gus, Shannon James said, yeah, she always knew she was fast running track and also playing softball. She said she and her son used to race when he was little. She knew he had something special. And I asked her, Gus, if she liked the name Hollywood. She said, you tell Gus, we love Hollywood around here.
All right, yeah, wonderful thing. That's Hollywood, Florida, folks. Casimir Allen and Mark Jackson making the tackle.
You know, he's even losing the Brown. He's walking around the building now, and everyone's like, hey, what's up, Hollywood?
Good for him.
I love it, man. I love it.
Second down and 10 at the 35 for UCLA. How do the Bruins respond offensively against this tenacious Sooner defense? Here's a handoff. Allen trying to squeeze through the hole. Curtis Bolton, Famatau combining on the tackle.
These are the situations you're trying to avoid if you're UCLA, and that's 3rd down and obvious. Gus, something like 7 or plus. And Chip Kelly knows that he's going to have to get creative in order to keep this rush and some of these linebackers out of the face of his quarterback.
3rd down, 7 at the 38. Thompson Robinson under pressure, tries to get out, throws, incomplete. But Curtis Bolton had his hands on it. And UCLA will punt once again.
And they overloaded that side. You know, they only had 5 offensive linemen in to block. And then Bolton's just going to come right around and find a seam, and he's going to be right in the face of the quarterback. Trust me when I tell you this, folks, there is no chance as a quarterback when you get that type of rush in your face that quickly. You've got to block the inside gaps first and let the outside rushers go to give the quarterback the amount of time he needs to get the ball out of his hand.
Flintoff ready to send it away. His third punt of the game. C.D. Lamb is the deep man for OU. And that one takes a bounce, and it will be down at the 15-yard line. A 47-yard punt. And here's a quick word from Duracell.
This fantasy season, trust Duracell, not auto drafts.
OU back on the field, 14-7. And watching Kyler Murray, partner, I was trying to say to myself, who does he remind me of? And when I look at him in terms of his poise, his leadership, and his ability to make everybody in the room feel good, I see a lot of Russell Wilson in this young man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're both not very tall. They've got good athleticism. I'd say Russell in his college career was a little more polished from the pocket, but in Murray's defense, we just haven't seen him enough. You know, this is only his 6th start. Russell Wilson had a couple of years of starting in North Carolina State before he went to Wisconsin, so he was just more seasoned, but the similarities in style are certainly there.
Talking to his coach, he said, let me tell you something about Kyler. He'll never quit. He's quiet. He's reserved, laid back, but he's got cutthroat competitiveness about him. I loved when he said that.
Yeah.
Cutthroat competitiveness.
I think that you have to in order to play quarterback at Oklahoma. Right? The expectations are too high here. They talk about OU DNA. That means you have to go out and win the conference championship and compete for the national championship.
Every year. 1st and 10 at the 15. I think this young man is down for the task. Play fake. Murray with time. Delivers to the sideline and incomplete. Hollywood, the intended receiver. That one thrown high. Darnay Holmes in coverage.
Good protection there. And saw this last week with Murray. When he sits in the pocket and holds it till the 3rd and 4th man in the progression, he doesn't set his feet and the ball sails on him. And I understand how that feels. Your heart rate starts going a little bit quicker because you feel like that rush is going to collapse in on you, but he's got to relax at that moment, get his feet set, and try to throw a more accurate pass.
2nd and 10 at the 15. Murray looking, winds up down the field. C.D. Lamb. Boy, he dropped that ball in a bucket. A 45-yard completion.
It's pretty good coverage from Metters. There's just a little bit of a step, and out and up, he's got the step, but look how accurate that pass was. Exactly like you said it, Gus. Right on the money.
1st and 10 at the 40. And they'll run it this time. Anderson. High knees. Stopped by Tyree Thompson.
This type of situation here, plus side of the 40-yard line, this is when you generally see some sort of play action, RPO, maybe taking a shot for Oklahoma.
2nd down and 5 at the 35. Murray over the middle. Caught. C.D. Lamb again. And I tell you what, partner, C.D. Lamb, Hollywood Brown, Cal Quintera, they've got some receivers on this Oklahoma team.
Good speed on the outside. You know, generally teams are either fast or they're powerful. Oklahoma has that rare combination where they've got both. Big, powerful offensive line, big running backs, and then the speed on the outside. Very tough to defend.
1st down and 10 at the 20-yard line for OU. Murray looks, tries to throw that one over a defender for Anderson. And once again, we see he's having a little problem with that pass.
I think personally it's a timing issue, right? I mean, Riley knows that's going to be a big play. He called the perfect play. He's got blockers set up. He's got it in the right guy's hand. And all Murray has to do, Gus, it's actually not really a pass. It's like shooting a free throw out there. You know, it's literally a flick of the wrist, and if you do throw it, generally you're going to overthrow it. It's one of those nuanced style of throws that only experience teaches you how to make for a quarterback.
2nd and 10 to the 20 for Murray. And a timeout called by the Sooners. Murray didn't like what he saw at the line of scrimmage. 23 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. OU up by a touchdown with the ball. 14-7, Oklahoma with the lead over UCLA. 23 seconds to go in the first quarter.
UCLA's got to force a kick here, right? I mean, they got them behind the chains here, so it's second and long, Gus. And they got them into more of a one-dimensional type of mindset. They have got to think to themselves, a kick, an attempted field goal is a huge win for the defense.
The Sooners have so many weapons. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Anderson. Look at the cut. And he'll get to the 10. Maybe inside the 10, depending on the spot. Rick Wade pick it with a tackle.
There's only 5 guys in the run box. There's 5 offensive linemen. That's a math equation, folks. You can block everybody there, hand the ball off. You're going to gain positive yards, and they do so there.
And I'll tell you what, Joel, talking to Coach Riley yesterday, these offensive linemen, not only the starters, but the backups, most of them are bona fide future pros.
Yeah, they generally recruit those type of guys up front. Something to watch there, though. Anderson got up a little gingerly and limped off the field. So we'll try to get you an update soon.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Competitive first quarter. Sooners with a 14-7 lead. Back to Norman right after this. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Interesting turn of events here at Oklahoma. Rodney Anderson has to walk off the field and back into the locker room.
Well, he just got banged up in the last play. They went and they checked his knee like once or twice on the sideline, and he gingerly walked back to the locker room. Ginny, I know you were standing right down there. What can you tell us about what transpired?
Well, unfortunately, they didn't look at it for very long. He was pointing towards that kneecap, his right knee, and it was a pretty quick decision to get him off and take him inside, guys. And not a lot of good looks from around as they were watching them examine that knee.
And this is a guy that has dealt with a lot of injuries in the past. He had a knee injury in 2015, lost his season, a neck injury in 2016, lost his season, had that amazing year last year, and he was grabbing for that right knee right away. It's the end of the run. Man.
So, next man up, Trey Sermon. First down and goal at the 10. Sermon. No, it's Murray on the option, and he scores. Kyler Murray.
The motion is really what does this. See Hollywood Brown, he's going to be racing around in motion. That opens up the back end. The linebacker goes way out with the motion. Then the defensive end, he crashed down into the inside. Easy read for Murray. He's a good enough athlete one-on-one. He's going to make that play.
So, start of the second quarter. Rodney Anderson leaves and goes into the locker room. Sooners had a Kyler Murray touchdown to take a 21-7 lead. Let's go to Los Angeles and check in with Greg Wolf.
Gus, thanks. We go to Camp Randall, number 5, Wisconsin. Slow start against New Mexico, but Alex Hornibrook gets them going. Finds A.J. Taylor, 10-yard touchdown strike, and the Badgers lead New Mexico 17-7, third quarter. Gus, Joel, back to you.
And I thought after Hornibrook lost that game at Ohio State, in the Big Ten Championship, he learned a lot, and I think he's gotten better.
I think he has too. I thought he was getting better late last year. You know, Gus, we did the game against Michigan late in November. Remember how well he played against that Michigan secondary that was one of the best pass defenses in the country. I still expect big things for Wisconsin. They haven't played great yet, but candidly, I don't think that anyone would expect them to go out there and be the most explosive team in the country. They are just Wisconsin. You know, if they need to put you in the meat grinder, they'll do it. And by the way, Bob Davies has done a nice job with New Mexico, so that's not that's not a terrible team that they're playing right now.
All right, Darnay Holmes, the deep man, as Seibert prepares to kick it away. Drives this one again. Not a chance for the return man. So what does UCLA do, Joel, to get their offense clicking a little bit against this Oklahoma defense?
In the 2 series that they've been able to move the ball a little bit on either first or second down early, they've gotten the ball to Caleb Wilson and gotten an easy first down. One was a big long play that ended up putting them in scoring position. In the last series, they got him the ball just slipping out into the flat. Look for them to try to get the ball to either Caleb Wilson or Theo Howard, the 2 most experienced pass catchers, and try to alleviate some of that pressure that the front 7 has put on Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
First down to the 25. Thompson-Robinson hands it off. And this is Kelly. Neville Gallimore says no way. Bledsoe in on it as well.
That's a play that I feel like is a little too safe. I think they need to be more creative on first down and give their quarterback a chance on second down.
2nd and 10 at the 25. Thompson-Robinson to throw. Underneath, and it's caught at a first down for the Bruins. Nicely done as Diamond Lee found a soft spot.
Good pitch and catch there, moving the chains. And again, the first down in the series, so important for a young quarterback to establish some rhythm within the series.
A gain of 11. First down at the 36. Quick strike in the flats, caught. Pabico. And Christian Pabico is driven down by Ryan Jones after a 6-yard gain.
This is clearly one of the situations where you're going to need the short passing game in order to open up the run game a little bit later. So they've gotten a first down, a little dink and dunk here. Maybe now they can go back to the run game.
2nd and 4. Low snap handled by Thompson-Robinson. Kelly picks up the first down as he slashes through. Ryan Jones, Khalil Houghton with the tackle for the Sooners.
A nice read there from Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He gets the edge for the running back. It was a clear lane, gives that ball, and another first down for UCLA. Good series here.
This freshman has some poise, Joel.
He does. I have loved the fact that he does not flinch. He does not waver. This guy is unfazed.
First down at midfield. And they'll hand it off. Allen straight ahead. Allen tackled by Ryan Jones once again.
Boy, if Ryan Jones didn't make that play, he had a seam, so Jones had to fly down and make that tackle before the speedster got it in gear.
3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7 at the 47. Thompson-Robinson going through his progression, steps up, nice throw, and another first down. Diamond Lee.
You're going to get the pressure from Oklahoma, and that pressure is going to show up right from that defensive tackle area. And he just steps up and then keeps his eyes down the field and finds a completion.
Play fake, Thompson-Robinson winding up. And he's tackled from behind. Nicely done by Ronnie Perkins, the freshman from St. Louis, who they're really high on here in Norman.
They've got a couple of great true freshman players. One of them we've already talked about, Brendan Radley-Hiles. They call him Buki. The other is Ronnie Perkins from St. Louis, 4-star recruit, played really well a week ago, and at 254 pounds, he's very explosive and fast. You saw that on the last snap.
2nd down and 12 after the 3-yard loss. Ola run for me. Bolu pounding forward. Neville Gallimore. I tell you, we've been mentioning Neville Gallimore's name a lot over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and one of the things that they kept talking to us about is all 3 of those guys up front, Kenneth Mann, Neville Gallimore, and Armani Bledsoe. They're going to be much better just from experience, and development. And we're seeing that come to fruition.
3rd down and 7 at the 32-yard line for the Bruins. Oklahoma showing blitz. Here they come. Thompson-Robinson in trouble, and he's wrestled down. He got decked by Curtis Bolton. Mike Stoops dialing up the pressure as a defensive coordinator.
What I love here is that you're going to get Bolton, and he just kind of slow plays it, and then he's going to show up late. Watch how he does this, and we saw Murray do a similar thing, and then he shows up late, and he's there for the quarterback, almost like a spy. He's not a rusher right away, but Thompson-Robinson's got nowhere to go once he wants to try to tuck it.
So this will be the 4th punt of the first half for the Bruins. Flintoff stands at the 46, 47-yard line. C.D. Lamb, the deep man, end-over-end kick. And it's fair caught at the 7. 10:52 to go, second quarter, 21-7 OU. Lead and ball right after this. In 2003, UCLA came to Norman looking to upset the #1 team in the nation, but Antonio Perkins had other plans. He set NCAA single-game records for punt return yards with 277 and touchdowns with 3, leading Oklahoma to a 59-24 win. Tell you what, though, I know it's a slow start for Chip Kelly, but you know that in the next couple of years, he's going to get this thing going at UCLA.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Bruin fans, be patient. This is going to work.
First down and 10 at the 8-yard line. Murray spinning, gets out of bounds at the 15. Darnay Holmes there to usher him out of play.
And it's just so different from his. Everyone wants to compare it to Oregon, right? He was great at Oregon. It's going to be great here. Listen, he was the OC and was promoted from within, very similar to Lincoln Riley here. It was built at Oregon, and they just kept it going and even accelerated it to those 4 straight BCS games, including a national championship appearance. Here, he's got to build from the foundation. This is foundational, folks. This is, kind of from scratch here. This is homemade.
Second down and 2. Sermon looking, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Think about this UCLA team. A lot of guys aren't here that were here last year. 17 guys leaving the program. There have been suspensions, injuries.
And that type of turnover is pretty normal when you're going through what I would call a culture change in a program. And they're playing a lot of young players. 11 true freshmen played last week. Got a true freshman all over the field on offense and defense. But I can tell you this defense is way better than they were a year ago. They were the worst rushing defense in the country. They are much more stout already so far this year.
Third down and 2 at the 16. Murray with time underneath, and that one is deflected, intended for Hollywood, and the UCLA defense holds, and they'll force the Sooners to punt it away. Keyshawn Lucier-South looks like he deflected that football, number 11.
And he was double teamed, but did exactly the right thing, right? He didn't try to make some sort of spin move. He just took the double team, and then he said, I'm going to get my hands up in the passing lane. And he's able to bat that ball down.
So Cyber to punt it away for the second time at his own 2. Kyle Phillips, the deep man, standing at the 40. Low snap, handled. Short kick, takes a bounce. And UCLA will have pretty good field position starting at the 43-yard line. Down 21-7. 9:26 to go. Here comes that true freshman from Vegas. He's a gamer. Back after this. Fox College Football presented by AT&T Business is sponsored by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Welcome back to the Palace on the Prairie. Gaylord family, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, 21-7 Sooners. Don't forget, folks, check out Breaking the Huddle with my main man here, Joel Klatt, on Facebook Live Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. First down and 10 to the 43. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the true freshman out of Las Vegas. Came in last week for Wilton Spate, who injured his back. Here's the handoff around the corner, and it's Allen, the speedster, trying to get down the sideline. Nice pursuit by the Oklahoma defense.
Mike Stoops talked a lot to us yesterday about the fact that he wanted his outside linebackers to play more physical. They've done a pretty good job today so far, not allowing UCLA outside of their contain to get those big runs.
Second down and 8 at the 45. Thompson-Robinson, quick strike, and it's caught. Jordan Wilson with the reception. Yesterday, Coach Stoops kept talking about Chip Kelly, and he kept talking about the veer. The veer. What's the veer, Joel?
Well, the veer is like the old school option, except now it's run from the shotgun, in which you don't block a down lineman. Sometimes it's the defensive end, sometimes it's the defensive tackle, but the problem is that it's so difficult to defend because the offensive linemen just automatically go up and block your linebackers, and then the quarterback can make the defensive lineman wrong. Incredibly tough to defend.
They're down at 3 at midfield. Here's a handoff. Ola run for me, and he'll plunge forward and pick up the first down as Neville Gallimore finally got him to the ground.
Good vision there. He went to the left side, and it was really shut off. There was nowhere to go for Ola run for me, and so he slid over to the right side, and he was able to find a seam and fall forward for the first down.
Ola run for me, a powerful runner, 5'10", 222 pounds. First down at the 45 for the Bruins. Quick strike, near side. Pabico, and Pabico will go nowhere. Murray, as well as Ryan Jones in the vicinity.
Ryan Jones.
It's a loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Thompson Robinson hands it off to Allen straight ahead. And Allen will pick up a couple. Famatau with the tackle.
Well, in this situation, Gus, in these obvious third down situations, we've seen Oklahoma dial up the pressure and bring extra linebackers and try to disrupt the timing of the young quarterback. Let's see if they do it again here.
3rd down and 10 at the 45. Thompson Robinson in trouble, and he's sacked for the 5th time. Curtis Bolton, Mark Jackson.
Great move by Neville Gallimore. Watch me, he's going to come to the right side, and then he's just going to swim around the guard and get right in the face. You've got all those Oklahoma Sooners right in the face, but the key is the middle pressure, Gus, because that's where the quarterback can escape to if the edge rushers get to him quickly. The middle pressure allows the quarterback to go nowhere.
CeeDee Lamb back deep. Let this one take a bounce and go into the end zone for a touchback. 21-7. Oklahoma Sooners coming back with the ball. The defense starting to stand out for OU.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, will the real Kansas State show up this week as they host number 18 Mississippi State? How have the Wolverines responded after last week's loss at Notre Dame? And has it been a bounce-back game for Heisman hopeful Khalil Tate? Gus, Joel, we'll see you guys at the break.
All right, thank you very much, Rob. Khalil Tate throwing the ball a lot last week against BYU.
I don't think that's the recipe you want. You know, Khalil Tate has not won a game as a starting quarterback in which he's thrown the ball over 20 times. So throwing it 34 times is probably not the deal.
Hollywood Brown with the reception as he turns it up and picks up a first down.
Anderson still out. Remember, went back to the locker room. So now you've got Trey Sermon in the backfield, along with Marcelius Sutton, senior from LaGrange, North Carolina.
First down to the 33 for Oklahoma. Here's Sermon squeezing through the hole and dragged down from behind by Thompson. Sermon Thompson.
Sermon, Gus, is not just any backup. I mean, this guy was the starter for the majority of the first half of last season, including in a game in which they went and beat Ohio State. So he's certainly capable.
2nd down and 6 at the 37. Murray to the far side. And Hollywood picks up the first down. One thing Coach Riley talked about when we mentioned Trey Sermon to him was how he's really improved his body.
Yeah. As a true freshman a year ago, he was very talented, but he didn't have the makeup yet physically of a veteran college football player, and he has trimmed himself down a little bit. And Lincoln Riley put it a very simple way. Now he looks like an OU running back. And I was like, oh, okay. I get what you're saying there. You know, guys like DeMarco and Adrian Peterson and Rodney Anderson and Long
J.P. Ryan, all those guys. Joe Mixon, first down and 10 at the 44. Murray sets up deep. Near side on the money. Calcaterra gobbled it up. Close to a first down, and they really love Grant Calcaterra's pass catching ability. They think he's like Spider-Man. He can take anything down.
He's probably a better pass catching tight end, split tight end than Mark Andrews was, who just won the Mackey Award. Now Andrews was fantastic, but Calcaterra has a little bit more route running nuance and a bit more speed.
Second down and 1. Sermon, first down OU. That's 224 pounds of meat. And Darius Pickett throws himself under the chariot.
How would you like to tackle this?
No way.
Oh my goodness.
Darius Pickett, redshirt senior from Richmond, California, is a tough young man at 5'11", 198. Tackling the 6', 224-pound Sermon.
This guy, he's experienced too. 85 tackles a year ago, second on the team. Did a nice job just bringing Sermon to the ground.
First down at the 42. 3:38 to go. Murray. Calcaterra turns it up. First down OU.
Murray has just settled in nicely. He looked a little rushed early. Saw him with 3 incompletions. Those 3 incompletions were more than he had all of last week, but he has settled in, and in this second quarter played very nicely. And this series, I think, has been his best series so far.
9th overall pick by the Oakland A's as a baseball player. Got $4.7 million bonus. First down and 10 at the 32. Murray looking, delivers. Caught, far side, C.D. Lamb. Biletnikoff Award candidate. Nate Metters with the tackle, along with Hollywood Brown.
C.D. Lamb was quiet last week, but he has played really well this week. Late flag. Like there was a hold on the offense. The official's microphone not working. Try to pick it up here. Might have been the right guard. Maybe it was Drew Samia, number 75. Oh yeah, that big hook right around number 44. That's Martin Andrus, sophomore from Long Beach. Little ticky-tack. I don't think Andrus was going to get to the quarterback. I don't necessarily agree with that. There's a hold like that on every snap of the game.
A lot of California kids on this OU roster. Samia from Sacramento. Calcaterra from California as well. First down at 20, and Sermon gets to the 45. Chris Barnes defensively for the Bruins.
Good patient run there. Got himself right in the crease of what the offensive line was creating. And Lincoln Riley's going to have to dial something up. Trying to get half of this back. Create a manageable third down situation.
Second down and 13 at the 35. Murray to the sideline, and C.D. Lamb again and they call it a catch as Lamb lost his footing, but somehow managed to cradle that football.
And that's exactly what they did. They got half of it back. And if you get more, that's just icing on the cake. But now you're in a third down situation where it's much more manageable for your team. And if you really wanted it, you could still run the football.
Third down and 3 at the 25 after the 10-yard gain. Kyler Murray looking, now decides to run it, turns it up, and gets out of bounds short of the first down. So Lincoln Riley has a decision to make. About a yard and a half short.
In this area of the field, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go quickly and just snap the ball and go for it on 4th down, but they're actually going to take their time, bring in the big fellas. Here comes big 94 again. Plus, I love it when they do this. The defensive lineman, Troy James, 304 pounds. We saw him in on a touchdown run for Anderson early in the game. He'll be lined up at fullback.
4th down and 1 of the 23. Can UCLA get off the field? Here's a handoff, and the Bruins do get off the field. Nicely done by UCLA. Odigizua makes the play.
Just right through the defensive line, into the backfield. And gets Sermon to the ground. Great play by Odigizua.
UCLA growing in front of our eyes, this young Chip Kelly coach team. 21-7, they have the ball after this. Fox College Football presented by AT&T Business is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Competitive first half, Oklahoma with a 21-7 lead, but UCLA, especially defensively, not backing down.
Done a nice job a couple of different times. You know, on the plus side of the 50 for the Oklahoma offense, they've gotten themselves off the field. And they did so there on a 4th down play. Another offense has got to respond here, put some points on the board before the half.
First down at the 25-yard line, hold a run for me. Going to be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Amani Bledsoe and Kenneth Mann combining on the tackle.
I got to tell you, these first down run calls are just putting them behind the 8 ball, and they're going awful slow here. Not trying to get the point. I mean, now we're inside of 51, now 50 seconds. This is just taking far too long for UCLA.
2nd down and 9 at the 26.
Oh man, I mean this was an opportunity to let your freshmen cut loose a little bit, and they're just going to go into the half down 14.
A run for me again. Coming up at the half, Rob Stone, Dave Wannstedt, Matt Leinart, and Robert Smith are standing by with the State Farm halftime show.
Gus, 2 timeouts. They had 1:13 left. I mean, I understand he's a true freshman, but a score here, any type of score, would have gone so far. I just don't. I don't like the conservative play here for the Bruins.
Well, he's got a true freshman, as you mentioned. Down 14, not bad for UCLA going into the locker room on the road against the number 6 team in the country. Kyler Murray ran for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown. 21-7, Lincoln Riley and the Sooners with a halftime lead. Right now, we'll send you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles.
Gus Clatter, thank you. Good start for the Bruins as they make their way off the field. Then the tables turned as most expected as we welcome you to the State Farm Fox College Football halftime show. Glad you're with us. Rob, Robert, Matt, and the coach with you. Game 2 without Baker Mayfield put the quarterback spot again. Appears to be in good hands with Kyler Murray. Our halftime highlight, sponsored by State Farm, here to help offense go right, focuses in on Mr. Murray.
Yeah, you like to see the week 1 to week 2 progression. I love this throw. 3rd and long. Good patient feet in the pocket, delivers a strike, and then, Coach, we talk about just let the playmakers go make plays. Here, he shows off the accuracy on the deep ball. He had some great deep balls last week, following up this week again. Also scored on a quarterback keeper down the red zone, so he does show his versatility. But do want to give credit to UCLA's defense. They've done a great job in really limiting most of those explosive plays, and they've given themselves a chance here in the second half.
Yeah, and that's what UCLA is going to have to do on the other side. They're going to have to make some big plays. You know, they threw for about 100 yards with Dorian Thompson Robinson, but 65 yards of the 100 was on one play. The rest of the time, you know, it's high percentage throws, and he has been under pressure. I mean, I'm going to give him credit. I mean, he's completing some balls, you know, under fire. He's been sacked 5 times. He's actually been sacked, you know, 10 times in the last 6 quarters. So, you know, the offensive line struggling a little bit. He's kind of, you'd like for a young quarterback, you know this, Matt Barry and anybody, to throw when you want to throw. You don't like to have a young quarterback and throw because you have to, and they've kind of had to throw the ball because they've been behind, and they haven't been able to run it.
Yeah.
Curtis Bolton was your impact player. What have you seen from him?
Boy, he's been great. And look, Mike Stoops, true freshman quarterback, going on the road. First time Mike Stoops was rubbing his hands together. He said, I got something for you, young man. Curtis Bolton talked about him in the open. had the season-ending ankle surgery a year ago, but you can see the athleticism there. First year as a starter. And look, this is UCLA, a lot of young players, but this Oklahoma defense, we talked about this before. If they really want to get into that elite category year in, year out, they have to get better defensively. Curtis Bolton, you can see, fifth-year senior, so he's going to be gone, but he's the type of athlete, and that's the type of effort that they need.
Back to the offense through the first game and a half, 900 yards of total offense exactly already for the Sooners. We're going to stay in the Big 12 next. Check.
And welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma, with a 21-7 lead over UCLA. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Welcome back, Gus Johnson, along with Joel Klatt. Oklahoma, not as dominant as they were last week against Florida Atlantic, but the offense still effective.
Yeah, they were, and creative again. And that's what Lincoln Riley, I think, does best, in particular with a quarterback that's got a great skill set running the football. Let's go into the AT&T Business edge-to-edge zone, where intelligence covers every edge of the field. And on this touchdown run, you're going to see the motion from Marquise Brown. First of all, his speed is going to affect two defenders. Watch out, two UCLA defenders. They're going to get out of position to the outside right there. Then Murray is able to get himself into the seam and go one-on-one for a touchdown, utilizing his athleticism. That's just a good design by Lincoln Riley, a good read from Kyler Murray, and an easy touchdown for Oklahoma.
So Kyler Murray, in that first half, of 11 of 17, 190 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. He also carried it 4 times for 27 yards, averaging 6.8 yards per carry with a long of 10 and a rushing touchdown. But the question on the other sideline is, how does UCLA get going offensively? I think their defense has been pretty solid.
Yeah, they have, you know, and I think it comes in letting the true freshman quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, throw the ball on first down. Every time that we've seen UCLA come out and on first down just turn around and hand the ball off, it has not been a quality series for them. They've got to get creative with a motion of formation, get Caleb Wilson, the tight end, in a one-on-one situation, and let your young quarterback, number 7, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, allow him an easy completion, because Gus, 2nd and 5 is where you're going to make your money in this game. 2nd and 10, and UCLA is not going to score many points.
Oklahoma won the opening toss. They deferred, so they'll receive to start the second half with a 21-7 lead. We do not have word as of yet on Rodney Anderson, who went out in the first half with an apparent knee injury.
Just here in the press box, past Teddy Lehman, the former Butkus Award winner here at Oklahoma, great linebacker. He now does the sideline radio broadcast as an analyst for the OU telecast, and he said that didn't look good. Things he was hearing did not look good for Rodney Anderson. So for the time being, it's going to be Trey Sermon in the backfield.
Sutton and Brown back deep. This one kicked out of the end zone. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft.
Well, Gus, yes, the question being Rodney Anderson, and the latest from Lincoln Riley, he will not be back for this game. They are still evaluating that knee. And just to remind you guys of the injuries he has faced in the past, he had a broken leg in 2015, caused him to miss the season, a broken bone in his neck in 2016. This guy has faced adversity in the past, and Lincoln Riley said, yeah, it's a huge loss to us offensively, and, you know, we need to respond in that way. Our defense has been pretty good, but I need to see more from our offense. And Chip Kelly, he echoed what you said, Gus. The defense has been solid. How do we respond, because they're stepping up?
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. First down and 10 for Oklahoma at the 25-yard line. And he'll hand it to Sermon. No, this is Murray. And he'll get out of bounds at the 30. I tell you what, man, he fools me sometimes, Joel, with that fake to the running back.
Great ball handling in the backfield, and he does a great job of reading that all the way through, forcing the defense to make a decision, but he got hit late on this one.
Foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. It's an automatic first down.
You know, it wasn't all that late. I mean, he's still in bounds when he gets shoved, but then at the end, he gets kind of popped from one of the UCLA players on the sideline. You know, boy, that's tough. I guess you could argue if you were the official that he was giving himself up towards the out of bounds and there was no need for the extra shove, but he had not hit that out of bounds line. If I was coaching the defense, I would say you've got to go until he hits the out of bounds, because he's so athletic, he might get the edge and go for a touchdown.
So first down in the 45 opening series for Oklahoma to start the second half. Rodney Anderson out. Trey Sermon, number 4. The lead back now. Kyler Murray. Dancing. Turns a corner with speed. Murray cross field. Murray making people miss. And finally slides down. A flag on the play. He'll gain about 8.
Ill-advised block from C.D. Lamb. I mean, this is video game stuff from Kyler Murray, but Lamb late blocked in the back and got a flag.
Illegal block in the back. Number 2, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
You saw it right there late. Here's 2, C.D. Lamb, and he just kind of comes and throws a little block shove to Elijah Gates, the redshirt freshman from Pasadena. And that'll back the Sooners up.
Lamb says, my bad. First down. And 11 at the 44.
Boy, these safeties are awful close to the line of scrimmage. You just get the sense that they're going to go deep to Hollywood on one of these plays.
Play fake. Murray looking. Calcaterra. Knocked away by Nate Metters. Well defended.
Earlier in the game, Metters got a pass interference because he grabbed late. There, he gets his hands off of Calcaterra right as the ball is about to arrive, and then fights with his hands as he's trying to catch it. That's great coverage from Metters. Excellent job.
Metters, a senior from San Bernardino, California. Second and 11 at the 44. Sermon, and he is broken down in the backfield for a loss once again. I tell you what, this UCLA defense is playing some strong football. Tyree Thompson with the tackle.
And that was just a poor read from Sermon, because the block was actually going to be made there. Cody Ford was pulling around the big right tackle, number 74, and he was going to get Tyree Thompson blocked, but Sermon cut inside when he should have cut outside. That's what allowed Thompson to make the tackle.
UCLA with a chance to get off the field. Oklahoma facing a 3rd and 12 at their own 43. Murray over the middle and incomplete. That one knocked away at the end. Intended for Hollywood, but Quentin Lake, the sophomore from Irvine, California, knocks it away. Carnell Lake's son.
Watch the timing of this. See, as the route comes open, that ball's got to be thrown right about now, but he throws it once Hollywood breaks out of his route. Now he's waiting, and the defense can break on that, bat the ball down, and Lake does a great job of going up and getting that hand on it, but it was a late throw from Murray that led to the defensive play.
That number 37 looks familiar, only in Pittsburgh Steelers colors. So Oklahoma sends it away. Kyle Phillips with a fair catch at the 20. 13-11 to play, 3rd quarter. Here comes UCLA on the field offensively for the first time. Their defense manning up here in Norman, Oklahoma. Fox College football presented by AT&T Business is sponsored by SoFi, a personal finance company to fit your goals. By the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta. 21-7 OU, but UCLA has the football for the first time here in the 3rd quarter. And on the road, it's been an adventure for the Bruins.
They haven't won a road game since 2016, a game in which they won at BYU. It's been a struggle for them, and candidly, they just have not been able to run the ball, and they've not been able to stop the run, but I believe at this point, Gus, it's got to be first down throws that are going to get them in rhythm.
Let's see if Chip Kelly here is your 1st and 10. And they run it. This is Thompson Robinson. And Thompson Robinson hits the edge quickly and Looks like he may have picked up a first down.
Excellent read by Thompson Robinson, and then he just had the speed to beat, looked like Kenneth Mann there, 55, and Motley to the edge. Shows you the type of athleticism this kid had. He only started for 1 year in high school at Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. He had to sit behind Tate Martell, who was a Gatorade National Player of the Year. He's now a backup at Ohio State.
First down to 10 at the 31. Will run for me in the backfield. And they'll give it to him with a huge hole. Will run for me. Picks up 7.5, maybe 8 yards on the play, as he stopped by Neville Gallimore.
True freshman center Christaphany Murray had a great block. Good snap, and then he got all the way up to the linebacker and really was the key block on the play.
They'll run it once again in the first down. Will run for me.
Good tempo here. We haven't seen them work with tempo a lot, but they do have good tempo on this series, getting up to the line of scrimmage. And then what they're doing is they're trying to control the game from the sideline and from the box and give the play calls to Thompson Robinson once they get Oklahoma lined up in their defensive set.
First down at the 44. Opening series of the second half for UCLA. Thompson Robinson pivoting. He's got to get rid of it. And somehow it's caught by Caleb Wilson. But it will be for a loss.
I couldn't tell if this was going to be a fumble or a forward pass. So Caleb Wilson, I'm sure, is in the same boat, and he says he's got to grab that out of the air. Probably would have been an incompletion if he bats it down to the ground, and they would have saved some yardage, but you can't be sure. And so you've got to get that ball out of the air, and Caleb Wilson does it. Boy, the pressure on Dorian Thompson Robinson has been immense. OU has 5 sacks on the day.
Devon Monster comes in for Thompson Robinson, maybe for only 1 play. 2nd and 21. The handoff, Ole run for me. And Amani Bledsoe there defensively.
Dorian Thompson Robinson, his helmet came off, so of course you have to leave the playing field for 1 play, back on the field. Nothing serious.
But now he's faced with a 3rd down and 18 at the 36. UCLA struggling to move the ball, especially through the air. Asmir Adam, the speedster, in the backfield. And they'll give it to Allen straight ahead. Allen powering his way to midfield as Curtis Bolton brings him down. Almost popped one free. That's a gain of 14 yards, but it brings up 4th down and 4. The Bruins will punt it away.
And OU had basically everybody back at the chains. They had 3 safeties in the game all the way back at the 1st down marker, and they were fine with the handoff, rally up and make the tackle, even though it got a little bit exciting there at the end.
Flintoff punting. CeeDee Lamb lets it go over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. Little over 10 minutes to play in the 3rd. Kyler Murray and the Sooners offense back on the field when we return.
Kyler Murray trying to fill some large shoes here in Norman, namely of the Heisman Trophy winner, but it's been done before. You fill those big shoes like Peyton Manning and T. Martin. T. Martin went on to win the national championship. Matt Leinart did that. Vince Young obviously won a national championship. Colt McCoy was terrific after that. It happened both at Ohio State and LSU, and then recently with Deshaun Watson and Kelly Bryant. So there is precedent for a program to replace the alpha quarterback and in the very next season have a lot of success, and that's what Oklahoma is trying to do with Kyler Murray. And you know, Kyler has made it pretty clear the reason he's here playing football and not just, you know, getting ready for his baseball career is he wants to win a national championship. That's what he wants to do. That's why he's the quarterback. He believes they can do it. He believes he can lead them there, and that's why he's on the field right now.
First down and 10 at the 20-yard line for Murray. Very efficient in this game. He'll throw it. All day to throw the ball. Underneath. Hollywood Brown with the reception and a 1st down. And Marquise Brown may be cramping up.
Grabbing at that left calf. I mean, Murray had like 3 days to throw.
3 days.
I mean, forever back there. Excellent job by the offensive line, and Marquise got contacted there, made a really nice catch. Let's hope that this isn't anything more serious as he landed on that left foot. He was reaching for that left leg area down low like it was a cramp, and they are stretching him out. So let's hope that's the case. Looks like it. He has improved as a wide receiver. I thought last year, Gus, candidly, there was a lot of flash, but not a lot of substance as a wide receiver. He's improved drastically as a route runner, and I think his hands in traffic so far in the 2 games that we've seen, and I can guarantee you NFL evaluators are paying attention, because with his speed and his home run ability, any semblance of the ability to run routes in the middle of the field, and this guy is going to be a hot commodity for the National Football League.
Unbelievable speed.
Just not right now. Hobbling off,
hobbling off the field.
When the trainer's laughing, that's when you know it's just
it's okay. It's a cramp. Everybody taking a deep breath there.
Yes.
Especially with Rodney Anderson already out in this game.
Exactly.
First down and 10 at the 30 for Kyler Murray. Marcellus Sutton in at running back. Here's Marcellus Sutton exploding through the hole, and he's chopped down. Darius Pickett once again coming up, and there's another Sooner getting up slowly, which is Marcellus Sutton. Helmet comes off, and he'll have to leave the game.
And roll with Trey Sermon back. They do have a deep stable of running backs here, and Sutton getting a few more carries because of that injury to Rodney Anderson. But I think his helmet just kind of came loose and maybe came off. He was dealing with a chin strap or ear pad issue. But Pickett, man, I tell you what, this guy,
he's tough.
Darius Pickett is laying some wood. He is always near the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 6 at the 34. Murray. And caught on the sideline. Nice throw, A.D. Miller. With the reception, Nate Metters brings him down, but for Oklahoma, that is a gain of 15 yards.
Beautiful route here, forcing it upfield, and then I thought the throw was tremendous. Back shoulder throw, just allowing the wide receiver to fall out for the completion.
First down to the 49. High snap. Murray out of the pocket and knocked away by guess who? A Darius Pickett.
This dude's been all over the place. A senior from California, 12 starts a year ago, 85 tackles. He was in the top 20 in the Pac-12 in tackles last year.
Last week against Cincinnati, he had a career high 15 tackles. He's a Lott Impact Award watch list. That's Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, that's a really cool award that honors the best defensive player in the country that also has a huge impact off the field as well. So a big honor there for Pickett to be on the Lott Impact Trophy Award watch list.
2nd down and 10 at the 49. Murray underneath, deflected at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Looks like Keyshawn Lucier-Sal got another hand on the football. That's the second deflection that he's come up with today.
They haven't been able to present a lot of pressure in Murray's face, but they have done this a couple of times. And remember, Murray only stands at about 5'9", 5'10". He's under 6 feet, and so the opportunity to bat that ball down is there for the linemen, and they are taking advantage of it. The second time for Lucier-Sal today.
3rd down, 10 at the 49. Sutton back in at running back, number 21.
They were all messed up in their formation, and Lincoln Riley just took a timeout from the sideline.
8:31 to go, 3rd quarter. Timeout on the field. 21-7 OU.
Let's take a quick look back at how we got here. It was UCLA early. Bolo Olorunfemi, he wound up in the end zone, and then OU started getting it going. Rodney Anderson and Marquise Brown on a long 3rd and 14. Caught it, gone. Turned on the Jets. OVA, Gus, OVA. Kyler Murray on a nice little ball handling in the backfield. He took it in the end zone. But UCLA has done a nice job defensively. And on third down, Oklahoma has gone cold. They were 3 of 4 in the first quarter on third down. They've been 0-3 since.
Third down, 10 at the 49. Empty backfield for Murray. Here's Kyler to throw it. Caught. C.D. Lamb. And C.D. Lamb still running. Terrific throw and catch. Murray to C.D. Lamb. Gain of 25.
Check out Murray's eyes. He's going to throw this right on time. He threw one previous in this game late to Hollywood Brown, and it caused an incompletion. But there, that was right on time, right at the back of the linebacker. Easy first down.
So first down and 10 at the 26. And Murray pulls it out, runs it, first down and more. As he slides down inside the 10. I'm telling you, Joel, this kid's got some Russell Wilson in him.
Check out his eyes all over the defensive end. As soon as Keyshawn Lucier South comes in, number 11, boom, he takes off around the edge, and he's got the athleticism to make guys miss. Even Pickett, who's been having a great game.
That's a gain of 15. First down and 10 at the 11. And it's Sutton still on his feet. Touchdown OU. 11-yard run for Marcelius Sutton. And the Sooners take a 27-7 lead.
Well, it's all about reading that pulling guard and tackle, and he did a great job. Both guard and tackle are going to swing around, and then he stays up. It seems like going into the end zone, gets contacted awful close before that right knee hits, and when the ball actually crosses the plane of the goal line.
Marcelius Sutton, a senior from LaGrange, North Carolina, transfer from Lackawanna College. And with Rodney Anderson going out, Sutton's carries are going to go up along with Trey Sermon. And I don't know, was he down, Joel? You think his knee was down?
It's going to be awful difficult to overturn this because we don't have a look where we can get simultaneous of knee down and ball position. That's why I think they're going to let this stand and go ahead and attempt this point after.
Austin Seibert in for the extra point. And it's good. 28-7 OU. 7:37 to go, third quarter. Sooners moving and grooving at home. Postcards from Fansville, sponsored by Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Take a look at the crowd. I tell you what, it was so hot last week after Oklahoma got up 28-0 after the first quarter. They were out of here.
Listen,
and I couldn't blame them.
I couldn't either, and I give them credit for being here, right? I mean, there's not many fan bases that would have shown up like they did last week, but this is one of the great fan bases in all of college football, and it's a joy to come here. It really is. Now, it wasn't a joy to play here, but it's a joy to come here now and witness games.
Much better now, right?
Yes.
Now, with the start of the college football season, college basketball is not far behind. And this Thanksgiving, we have a real treat for you on FS1 and Fox. The 2018 Continental Tire Las Vegas Invitational features 4 elite programs: Michigan State, North Carolina, Texas, and UCLA. That's coming this Thanksgiving. Tickets are on sale now at OrleansArena.com.
How about that? How about those brands? You gotta love that.
Wish I could be there. But I think Michigan-Ohio State is a pretty big game, too.
Which one do you want to go to?
First down to 10 of the 25.
Oh, man.
Kelly.
There's Buki.
That's right, Buki. Bradley Hiles. I tell you, this young man, they say he's got a cult-like following.
I mean, he's got like 154,000 Instagram followers. He's a true freshman. It's incredible.
Wise beyond his years. 2nd and 5 at the 30. And a handoff to Allen, trying to pick his way forward, and nothing doing. Mark Jackson, first man to him. But there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, late flag here down the field. It looked like there was a little bit of a cheap shot taken by Demetric Felton, number 10 for UCLA. He hit Parnell Motley, number 11, the corner, down the field, way kind of late, way away from everything, and that's what I think drew the flag.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 10, offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. The down will count. Third down.
Chip's not going to be happy with that. Listen, they're trying to change and build a culture here, and this is way after the play. You see, he just kind of comes up and takes a cheap shot on Parnell Motley. Motley ran back up to him, but to his credit, didn't do anything. You know, just some jawing there, and Motley, at least for his part, did not come up and shove back and draw another penalty.
Third down and 20 at the 15. Allen. And he won't get there. Right now, this Oklahoma defense bend but not break philosophy as they force UCLA to punt it once again.
Yeah, those long third down opportunities, Gus, you're exactly right. Bend, don't break. They're fine giving up that 10-yard carry, rally up, make the tackle. Hey, man, you listen well.
Maybe I should be an analyst. That's where I hear the...
Hey, stay in your lane.
I like you, buddy. Look at you. Here's C.D. Lamb. Straight ahead. C.D. Oh, Kenny. Woo! Shake. Bake. And he's finally taken down. C.D. Lamb doing it on all sides. A 66-yard return. Mo Osling with the saving tackle.
See, my man, that's when you're great. That call was amazing, and that return was amazing. C.D. Lamb, he's looking back. That's the last tackle he needs to break, and he's unable to do it. You got to wonder if he doesn't look back and he just looks forward and tries to turn on the Jets. Is he able to pull away and potentially score? That was Mo Osling chasing him down, makes the saving tackle.
You know, I was listening to my boys on the franchise when I was coming to the stadium today, and one of the commentators said, be careful. Today is going to be a big day for C.D. Lamb, and man, was he right. Yes. 6 catches, 111 yards, and a punt return like that. And all of a sudden, OU in better shape. First down and 10 at the 11. Murray, broken play. And Murray goes down at the 10. Toiloa with the tackle. Looks like there was some confusion, partner.
Well, that was the exact same play they ran on our AT&T business edge-to-edge highlight there out of halftime. Is the exact same play, but UCLA was ready for it. And you see the confusion. I thought it wasn't necessarily confusion as much as it was the hole was just not there on that side. The motion didn't pull the defenders out. There was nowhere to go, and Kyler Murray just kind of ducked with it.
Second down and 9 at the 10. Murray looking. Murray in the end zone. Touchdown, A.D. Miller. This Oklahoma team, Joel Klatt, is good as it gets. Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, watch out.
I'll tell you what, that hole in the back of the end zone, it was so small, and Murray does a great job of anticipating the throw right over the safety and the linebacker's head before they could even get their hands up.
34-7, 5:19 to go third quarter. OU starting to pour it on now. Extra point, Cyber goes down. 35-7 OU, the number 6 team in the nation. Picking up on where they left off last week against Florida Atlantic. Kyler Murray starting to show that this is his team now, and he's got his boys with him. Kyler Murray, 15 of 25, 250 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns, no picks. And Oklahoma takes a 35-7 lead.
I'm so impressed with the way that he's played because he's shown so much composure. And Gus, I think that his accuracy has improved as the game has gone on. He's been more calm in the pocket. Now, I think you also have to give a lot of credit to the offensive line because he has not dealt with a lot of pressure, and that was something that you touched on, that Lincoln Riley told us in our meetings yesterday, that they were not all that happy with their pass protection last week against FAU. But they're going to be ecstatic with that pass protection when they turn this film on, because Kyler Murray has had nobody in his face when he's been reading the defense.
I think that accuracy criticism is a bit much, considering he only played a few games at Texas A&M. He only started one game last year. He's got to play. You're a quarterback. You got to play. You got to have an opportunity to get out there.
There's
I would imagine
no substitute for reps, and I got to tell you, he's been awful good today.
Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, just wanted to let you guys know that Rodney Anderson is back on the bench, but in his street clothes, a large brace on that right leg. Now, plenty of teammates coming up to him, checking on him. No further update on the severity of that. And as for Hollywood Brown, he was spending a lot of time still stretching out his legs. Looks like he's still dealing with something a bit there, guys.
All right, thank you very much, folks. I got an incredible story on Jenny Tabb, and I want to tell you as soon as we get an opportunity. How about this? Let's do it now. Jenny Tabb walked on at Boston University on the lacrosse team. She was a hockey player coming out of Minnesota. She walked on, got cut. Coach emailed her telling her that she got cut. She told Coach, give me 2 weeks and I'll be just as good going to my right as any player on your team. She came back 2 weeks later. Coach handed her number 5 and said, welcome, you were right. 2nd and 10, that ball knocked down.
I love that story. I love that story.
Buki
Wilson, Buki Radley Hiles, and Jenny. There's no substitute for perseverance at this level, is there?
Hey, well, I'm just hanging out with plenty of good walk-ons because Joel has done it even more successfully than me. But Gus, thank you for telling that story. I have to say those years at BU were some of my best.
That's right. JT, 3rd and 10 at the 25. This young man, he's going to persevere. He's going to be a good one. Thompson Robinson getting his experience right now as a true freshman. He'll throw it. And incomplete.
You know, I've been in these situations, and this is the ultimate baptism by fire. And there's nowhere else to go, right? I mean, listen, he's the guy. He's the future. You know, there's nowhere else for Chip Kelly to go, right? You've got to go out there and take your lumps and learn. And unfortunately, he's doing that with a lot of other young players, in particular on the offensive line, who are not giving him a lot of help.
Punt goes away, and Lamb allowed to take a bounce and go out of bounds. Tomorrow, the NFL is back on Fox. It all starts with Fox NFL Sunday as Michael Strahan, the Hall of Famer, sits down with Odell Beckham Jr., highest paid receiver in the NFL. Then the Giants take on the Jags, followed by America's Game of the Week as Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys battle Cam Newton and the Panthers, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check your local listings. I think Chip Kelly is familiar with Cam Newton.
Yeah. Faced him in college, then the NFL, and it's good to have him back in college football, though. Chip is going to build something special at UCLA. There's really no doubt in my mind. I don't care what this score looks like, or even Gus, candidly, what last week was against Cincinnati. He will succeed at UCLA.
Just a matter of time. First down. Sermon catches it out of the backfield. What kind of adjustment does this Oklahoma team make? You know, Rodney Anderson's got that big knee brace on. We don't know when he's going to return in street clothes right now. So with him out of the lineup, Sermon, Sutton, they have to really take a big step forward.
They do. Listen, Sermon's going to be up to the task. Like I said, he won the starting job early last year as a true freshman. He was the starting running back when they went to the shoe and beat Ohio State in that great game. And then Rodney Anderson had the amazing, last 8 games of the season. So they're ready for this.
Murray. Incomplete, but C.D. Lamb. What? Now he's showing off.
I mean,
the guys at the franchise must have hit him in his ear.
Here's what's crazy is that foot, I know this sounds crazy. His foot was not that far from being in bounds. I think it barely hit the sideline. He's going to go back to the huddle and be like, hey, just wanted to let you know that I could.
3rd down and 8 at the 27.
That was crazy.
That was incredible. Odell Beckham type reception.
Delay a game. Number 1, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's going to give UCLA a great chance to get off the field here. Murray's got to know better than that. Understand where the play clock is.
Third down, 13. Murray with the handoff to Sutton. And Sutton breaking tackles, and he picks up a first down. A 14-yard gain on 3rd and 13.
Darius Pickett came up and just drilled the wide receiver who was trying to block. That's right there. 83 was trying to get a block. That Nick Basquin, former walk-on senior, but Pickett did not attack the ball carrier. And that's what allowed Sutton to wiggle by for the first.
First down at the 36 for Kyler Murray. He knows how to keep everybody's hands full. Murray, bad snap. Winds up. Intercepted. Darnay Holmes camped under it. And Kyler Murray didn't put enough air under that football, and UCLA forces the turnover.
It was a good route, but the ball was just in the wrong spot. Hollywood takes the inside route. When you've got his speed, you tell him, hey, either inside or out. Doesn't matter, and I'll adjust as a quarterback. But Murray did not adjust and threw that ball on the outside. That ball, Gus, has got to lead him towards the inside of the field and deep. Severely underthrown, but a nice play by Darnay Holmes. I would say the second best player on the UCLA defense, along with Jalen Phillips. Started as true freshman a year ago and makes a big play there.
So the Bruins will take over, first down to 10 at their own 25. And here's a handoff straight ahead, not a lot of room, and the Bruins will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Good play there from Trey Brown from his corner spot, crashed all the way in on the inside, was able to get to the ball carrier before he got going.
2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line. Thompson Robinson off his back foot this time, and he throws the strike to Caleb Wilson. That was a well-thrown pass.
And he had pressure in his face. Amani Bledsoe, the defensive lineman, number 72, was right in his face. Wilson ran a great route on the outside. And that was the best ball that Dorian Thompson Robinson has thrown today. Right on the money and on time. Excellent job.
Gain of 28. 1st and 10. Now it's Marcel Irby who comes in at running back. Kelly, Olarumfemi, Casimir Allen have all gotten carries. Now Irby gets a shot.
Caleb Wilson, I've known him since he was in elementary. His dad was a defensive line coach at Colorado when I played there. Now he's a D-line coach for Philadelphia. So because they played on Thursday, he gets to come back. Chris Wilson played here at Oklahoma, is in the stands, getting to watch his son here live. Very cool.
Tell you what, his Eagles look good as Irby puts up the first down. And our Jenny Taft had a chance to talk to Dad.
Well, about 30 family and friends are here cheering on Caleb. And, you know, earlier this week, Caleb told me, my dad's my best friend. I mean, this is so special for me to have him here, not only cheering me on, but watching me. But something Chris made clear to us, guys, this is the one and only day he is rooting against the Sooners.
That's right. He recorded 303 tackles in a 4-year career at Oklahoma and was a 2-time All-American and 2-time team captain. Chris Wilson.
And I loved playing for Chris when he was on our coaching staff. And what I loved more was that Caleb would come out, Gus, almost every day as just a kid, right? I mean, he's just in elementary. And he would run with a football, a regular-sized football, and he'd run up to me and he'd be like, hey, could we play catch? Every day, man, I would throw this kid hundreds of footballs when he was little. He had great hands then. I'm telling you, he had better hands than our wide receivers.
Second down and 8. That one thrown behind the intended receiver, Babico. So you know what that means. You're an old man now.
I know. I know. Oh, man, we got one of the head coaches.
They're going to start calling you
than me.
Mr. Clack. Sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Third down and 8 at the 33.
Just as long as I'm better looking than you.
Oh, well, many are called, brother. You are chosen. Thompson Robinson in trouble and sacked. Trey Norwood, the sophomore from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Nicely done.
We got a flag here on the play. It was thrown deep in the defensive backfield on the 20-yard line on the near side.
There's no foul on the play. Fourth down.
Well, Mike Stoops is getting everybody involved. They're blitzing from everywhere. Troy Norwood is a corner. He's lined up on the slot. He comes on the blitz. UCLA has just been unable to locate some of those blitzers, and he was a free rusher. Mike Stoops doing a great job dialing up that pressure.
So fourth down and 13. The Bruins going for it. Thompson Robinson. Batted in the air and incomplete. Wilson, the intended receiver, and the Bruins will turn it over on downs. This Oklahoma defense is swarming to the football. Justin Broyles in on the play. And the thing about it, Joel, is they're young.
Yes.
They're so young, especially in the secondary.
Broyles just a redshirt freshman. Trey Norwood a sophomore. Parnell Motley just a junior. Trey Brown a sophomore. And the only senior back there is safety Khalil Houghton. They're fast and they're athletic. You got Buki back there. He's a five-star true freshman. One of the best players coming out of high school, certainly in the country.
That's an automatic.
OU's defense.
The previous play is under further review.
As they take a look at the review, OU's young defense has got some talent. They made impact in week 1. 35 of the 74 tackles were made by freshmen or sophomores from the last 2 recruiting classes.
They have awarded UCLA here a first down, and I'm not sure why. There was a late flag, and I believe they're going to call a targeting.
Thompson Robinson looks like he was shaken up as he went to the UCLA sideline.
Yeah, but just because the quarterback's shaken up doesn't make it a foul, right? Like, I don't see the indicators here. I don't see the launch. I see him going towards the chest. I don't see the forcible contact against the opponent with the crown of the helmet, and I don't see the forcible contact in the head or neck area.
Well, on the replay, Joel, I got to tell you that it looked like Thompson Robinson's head really snapped backwards.
Right, but that can happen if you get hit high on the chest. You know, if your feet are off the ground, then I just think that trust me, you get hit in the chest. And Dean Blandino, our rules analyst, is with us in Los Angeles. And Dean, just because his head moves doesn't mean he was hit in the head. It looked to me like Bolton hit him in the chest.
That's correct, Joel. A lot of times when the contact is in that upper chest area, the head will come forward first versus contact to the head, which forces it to go back. This is close. I kind of am looking for an indicator. I don't see one. His head looked like it was up. It is high. I don't know if we have enough to change it, but it's one of those where it is a player safety issue, and they are going to lean towards safety when it comes to these close plays.
And the other factor that I would hope that they look at is the fact that 42 Mark Jackson also hit Dorian Thompson Robinson, which changed the strike zone and Bolton has no control over that. You know, it's almost like his head was brought to Bolton, even though I don't feel like Bolton hit him in the head.
Better look right here.
That is, I think that's a good point, but when you're looking at these plays, you really can't take that into consideration. It's what does the player delivering the blow, what does he do?
Now we'll see. Dean, it could go either way here.
After review, there's no foul for targeting. It will be first down, Oklahoma.
All right, thank you very much, Dean.
I think that was a good removal of the foul. I really do. And I know Chip's going to be upset with that, but again, there were no indicators for targeting. He did not launch. It wasn't crown of the helmet, and it wasn't forcible head or neck area. So candidly, I think that was a good removal of the penalty.
So the Oklahoma offense comes back on the field, leading 35-7, under a minute to play here in the third quarter. First down at their own 38. Marcellus Sutton, back-to-back touchdowns, week 1 and week 2. They'll give it to him running right as he turns the corner and slices his way forward, crossing the 40.
Love these stories. Guys like Sutton had to go to junior college, Lackawanna, like you mentioned earlier, Gus, and now getting his shot. And listen, we saw this, like I said, a year ago, where Rodney Anderson wasn't really a factor until the last 8 games. So we don't even know, which back could potentially be the featured back by the end of the year for Oklahoma. That's a deep stable of backs. Also, they've got Pledger, a true freshman who's a very talented kid. He could get some run here in the coming weeks.
Got some run last week. 2nd and 5 of the 43. Sutton jitterbugging, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. And that could take us to the end of the third quarter. Isabor with the tackle for UCLA, and that is the end of the third. 35-7. Sooners dominating against the UCLA Bruins. Back for the fourth right after this. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft with you from Norman, Oklahoma, as we take a look at the scoring by quarters. Oklahoma with 14 in the third, shutting out UCLA to take a 35-7 lead.
Well, UCLA had that opening touchdown, and then OU has just flexed their muscle, haven't they? Been good on defense. Seen some good special teams plays, but namely the quarterback. It's been very good, Kyler Murray.
They're down at 6 for Murray. Flag on the play. Murray rifles one, and it's incomplete. Intended for Lee Morris, his high school teammate, who got some good news this week from Lincoln Riley.
Didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Offside, number 92 defense, 5-yard penalty. So first down.
Individually probably had the biggest impact on the game of anybody. The catch and run, I mean, it was such a competitive catch to begin with, and then the run after. CD had a great block. That was awesome. Not his first time around here to show up and make some big plays in a big game for us.
You're going to have to give him a scholarship at some point?
Yeah, I am going to have to. I'm going to not have to. I'm going to get to at some point.
Hey, if you guys, and I'm serious about this, make sure everybody's honest, okay? If you guys have to go out to dinner tonight, take Lee Morris, he's mine. He's a scholarship!
That's right, Lee Morris got a scholarship walk-on. His father was a walk-on at OU. Now Lee Morris walks on, gets a scholarship. That's saving his family $43,000 a year.
I love it. I love it. I think it's my favorite thing about college football is, and we see these videos out all the time now, like how the coaches are doing it. And Lincoln confessed, he was like, listen, I couldn't do it all that creative because we're in the middle of the season, but I tried to do it the best way that I could, and Lee certainly has earned it. He's done a heck of a job here for Oklahoma.
First down to the 45, Kyler Murray. That one deflected and incomplete.
They got caught there with no protection on Murray from the corner blitz. Darnay Holmes, number 1, came from Murray's right side, and Murray basically just had to throw this away. He's trying to get the ball down the field and just didn't have the time. Holmes was able to get there and force him to throw it earlier than he wanted to.
That'll make it second down and 10. Marcellus Sutton in the backfield. UCLA showing blitz. Pickett comes up to the line of scrimmage. Over the middle and incomplete. Now, what's been the big change, partner, in football? Back in the old days, coaches wanted a quarterback that was 6'3", that could drop back and see the whole field. Now you see smaller guys like Russell Wilson, or Drew Brees isn't a really big guy. How has offenses changed in terms of being able to protect these guys?
I think there's just more movement. There's more of an opportunity to take advantage of space and use athleticism. And the RPO game, the run-pass option game, has allowed shorter quarterbacks at both levels, whether it's college or the NFL, to have more success.
3rd down and 10. And ball snapped low. Murray trying to run. Murray, 1st down and more. That's what makes these little guys so dangerous.
Oh my goodness, this is a totally broken play. This is a no chance play. The ball is dropped. It's kind of a low bad snap. Watch how it's going to come back a little bit low and to the right, and he's unable to handle it cleanly. Hits the ground, so he just replaces the running back in the hole, and now it's just athleticism and speed. Man, I mean, come on. That's why. Gus, why are these quarterbacks on the field? That's why. You kidding me? And defensive coordinators, they come into the coaches meetings and they're like, hey, I can't deal with that guy.
1st down and 10 at the 35. Murray. Down the field. Murray. CD Lamb! What a game! CD Lamb balling out.
I mean, this is the 2nd time today that there's just been a Jimmy's and Joe's throw. My Jimmy's are better than your Joe's. Late and over the middle, and all he does got to do from Murray's perspective is put it up so that your guy can go and get it. Lamb did a great job of bodying out Metters, and then he goes and high points the ball and is able to bring it down for a touchdown.
Extra point good. CD Lamb, 7 catches, 146 yards and a touchdown. He also had a 66-yard punt return. That's Kyler Murray's 3rd touchdown pass of this game. Oklahoma up big. Fox College Football, presented by AT&T Business, is sponsored by Buick. Buick's fresh new lineup is full of surprises. Celebrate with Buick's kickoff event. By State Farm, here to help life go right. And by McDonald's. Welcome back to Norman and the Oklahoma Sooners, the 6th-ranked team in America, with a huge lead over UCLA. The offense, partner, really getting it going, and this defense has shut down the Bruins.
And UCLA has even played really well defensively against the run, but they can't get to the quarterback. So Murray's had all day to throw, and he's been accurate down the field, and then he's had guys make big plays. So it's been pretty impressive here from Oklahoma.
Sooners have sent it away. Seibert has been kicking it out of the end zone the entire day, and he does it again. So Lincoln Riley has to be happy with the team he put out on the field today. And there's another man that's happy as well. Folks, we're with Big Game Bob.
All right,
Coach Stoops.
Good to be with you.
Good to see
What's
you.
up, man?
How
Always
are you?
Good to see you guys.
This is
You
your
guys are
second
the
year.
best.
This is your second year being retired. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it's been better this year. It was a nightmare last year, and this year's still tough, but it's been better. I'm getting used to it.
What do you think of your team?
Love it. They played so well a week ago, and then today they're playing really well. Also, as you said, I loved defensively. They played great. Offensively, they've been great as well. I'm surprised they've limited the run game as much as possible. It's been such a weapon for us.
Well, that run game possibly took a hit with Rodney Anderson leaving the game earlier. Let's hope that he's okay, Coach, for Oklahoma's sake, because I know that when you were the head coach, he dealt with a lot of severe injuries, losing 2 seasons in his career.
You know, exactly. He's gone through so much adversity. Hopefully it's just, you know, a mild sprain, something that you can recover from quickly.
42-7. Coach Stoops is going to fortunately hang out with us for a little while.
Maybe we'll just prepare him for a career, you know, this is his next career.
That's right.
You guys have been working on me.
3rd down and 2. Thompson Robinson. And caught at the 45. Is that Caleb Wilson again? That's a 22-yard pickup.
That's a true freshman.
Looks like Chase Cota with the reception.
Chase Cota from Medford, Oregon. He was the number 2 recruit in the state of Oregon. Number 27 wide receiver in the country.
I just got the chance to see Caleb Wilson in the tunnel before the game. You know, his dad was with us for a good amount of time, and Caleb was a youngster here for a long time here in Norman.
Chris coached at Colorado, Oklahoma, several stops before landing with Philadelphia and earning that Super Bowl ring last year.
We tried to text Chris and Tino. I thought they were going to be at the game, so we've been trying to connect.
1st down and 10 at the 46-yard line. Thompson Robinson throwing deep.
Did he get it?
Wow. Theo Howard over the shoulder grab.
Hey, I tell you what, in the last couple series, we've seen some big-time throws from Dorian Thompson Robinson. You get the sense that he's maturing right before our eyes. One down the sidelines to Caleb Wilson's a few series ago. Now this one, that one is a perfectly thrown ball. Coach, the defense has got no chance when a ball is thrown that well.
That's a great throw and catch. You know, Trey Brown's right there as well as, you know, position. As good a position as he can be in there, and they make it. It's a great play.
1st down and goal at the 1. Only run for me, and he's denied. So you go back a long way with Chip Kelly. How long do you think it'll take him to get things going at UCLA?
Oh, he'll get it going. He's a great coach. You know that. He's an innovator. I got a chance to bump into him for 5 minutes ahead of the game, and really think, you know, love the guy. Think he's a fabulous coach, and he'll get it going there.
2nd down and goal of 2. Bruins trying to get in to make themselves feel a little better here in the 4th quarter. And they stay on the ground. All run for me. Already scored the only touchdown of the game for UCLA, and it looks like he gets a second. As that offensive line really fired off the football, and Bolu Olorunfemi with the touchdown.
Left tackle Andre James with a really nice block. He sealed the true freshman Perkins. Ronnie Perkins just kind of got pushed out of his gap, and any seam in the defense inside the 1-yard line is going to create a touchdown for the offense. It's so difficult to play defense down there, but a nice job from Andre James, the left tackle.
J.J. Molson in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. 42-14. 11-11 to go in the 4th quarter. Coach, will you hang around a little longer?
Okay, if you need me, I will.
That's right. Joel will pay you at the end of the day. No problem. Here we go. 42-14. Oklahoma on top of UCLA. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and Coach Bob Stoops in the booth.
Good to be here with you guys.
Always good to be here in Norman. I was telling Gus a little earlier, a lot better now than having to suit up against the Oklahoma Sooners and your teams and your defenses, but you certainly handed the keys to a Porsche.
Joel,
Riley.
You caught us in some tough years, 2003, 4.
See, I keep telling Gus that. I'm like, no, you don't understand, man. I had to face like Tommy Harris and Teddy Lehman and Antonio Perkins, and they were some dudes.
We had some special guys for sure, and still do, I guess.
Bruins take it away. And this one will be brought out of the end zone by Trey Brown. Trey Brown! Tell you what, Oklahoma has been terrific on special teams today. Now let's go to Greg Wolf in Los Angeles for a game break.
All right, Gus, thanks. We'll go to Tuscaloosa, #1 team in the country, Alabama, taking on Arkansas State. Tide have won 74 straight against unranked teams. Tua Tagovailoa finds Jerry Jeudy. He goes 58 yards for the score. Tagovailoa, first 2 completions, both went for touchdowns. Tide lead 13-0 first quarter. Gus, Joel, Coach Stoops, back to you guys.
Come on, man. Arkansas State.
I'm not saying anything.
I was trying to lead you to the water there, Coach.
I know it.
Haters, first down and 10 at the 35. Murray to throw it over the middle and caught first down, Oklahoma. This time it's Jalen Robinson.
Coach, do you think this guy is going to be able to sustain the efficiency in the passing game that we've seen over the last 3 years with Baker Mayfield?
Well, to some degree, yes. I mean, it's hard to say, can he be a Heisman Trophy winner in the first pick in the NFL draft?
Right.
You know, that's a lot to say. But Kyler's an awesome quarterback, very talented, got a great arm. So I think he'll be very similar.
And at some point, he's going to have to be a huge contributor with his feet.
He will be. And I think Lincoln Riley's one of the most talented play callers I've ever seen, been around. And he'll know, as the season goes, he'll know what fits Kyler the best, run and pass, and using his feet some, and he'll adjust.
Well, Kyler has used his feet today, 9 carries, 67 yards. He's averaging 7.4 yards per carry with a long of 15. And how about this?
Uh-oh, my son's out there in the slot.
Number 25, Drake Stoops. Had a good game last week.
Get him the ball. Get him the rock.
Here's Murray. Oh. And that one incomplete. But there is a flag on the play intended for A.D. Miller. How great is it for you to be able now to just watch your kid play football?
It's great. You know, this has been a huge adjustment, but a lot of parts of it have been fabulous. Other parts have been a struggle. But anyway, I'm glad to be here watching him play.
Number 9 defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous 5.
Do you go home when he comes home? Do you critique his games? Do you call him up as a former head football coach and tell him what he needs to do?
Listen, he thinks I've taught math my whole life. He doesn't think I know a thing.
That's great.
As well it should be. First down and 10 at the 36.
I think what's interesting from a lot of our perspectives, Coach, and I'd love to get your thoughts on why did you step away?
Well, there's, you know, as much as anything to own my own time, to do what I wanted to do, and you never know what's promised you in life, and it was just time for me.
First down at the 36, Pledger. Running the football. I remember meeting you for the first time in Gainesville, Florida, when you first got the job as the defensive coordinator for Coach Spurrier and the Gators. And back then, you know, I look at Hollywood Brown and I say, boy, I tell you, Danny Werfel would love to throw to Riedel Anthony, Ike Hilliard, Jaquez Green, and a Hollywood Brown type. I bet you they caused you fits when you were their defensive coach.
Scrimmages and practice, it was a nightmare. They go up and down the field on me, so it was always difficult. And they had Fred Taylor in the backfield to hand it to.
He was pretty good as well.
Yeah, you think?
Second down and 5 at the 31. Murray with the handoff. Pledger gets to the 20, 15, and down. I tell you, every time you come to Oklahoma, you never know who may run the football because you always have a great running back somewhere.
Great stable of backs.
Yeah, always. We've had them for decades around here, so I can remember growing up watching Greg Pruitt, Joe Washington, Steve Owens, on and on and on.
Well, you had some good ones during your tenure, there's no doubt. But really, I thought what has changed the trajectory was a few years ago, you made some changes on the staff. You brought in Lincoln Riley, and since that point, you guys had gone 8-5 and lost badly to Clemson in a bowl game. You brought in Lincoln Riley, and since then, you got the 4th best record in college football. You know, that change that you made, Coach, was special.
Well, a number of things. I wanted to go back to this system of offense was my primary reason. And Lincoln, you know, was a protege of Mike Leach and came up under him. And I think we really took off my first year when we hired Lincoln after about the 3rd, 4th game, when he really understood what kind of running game we had.
Yeah.
And that's when we really took off.
Looks like Odigizua is down. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with Coach Stoops in the booth after this. 42-14 Oklahoma. Sooners threatening once again. Gus Johnson, Joe Klatt, and Coach Bob Stoops.
Coach, you started all this offensive stuff. What people forget is that Bob hired Mike Leach to be his first offensive coordinator in 1999, and now you went back to that well, the protege Lincoln Riley. So this air raid has been in your DNA for a long time.
Murray lofts it up into the end zone, and a flag on the play.
It absolutely has. My key hire, hiring Mike Leach to run my offense. No one in this league anywhere.
How'd you know about Mike? Didn't you face him when he was at Kentucky?
I was a defensive coordinator at Florida for 3 years, facing Kentucky with Hal Mumme. Hal Mumme's the originator of this style of offense, and Mike Leach was his protege. And I couldn't hire Hal Mumme away from being the head coach of Kentucky, so I hired the next best thing as O-coordinator, Mike Leach, and was a key hire for me to start us in this offense. And we, the following year go on win the national championship. Mark Mangino took over, but we continued in the same offense.
Coach Leach, of course, was here for 1 year before he got that job at Texas Tech.
When I hired Mike, I said, if you come here in a few years, you'll probably be a head coach.
1 year.
Murray, and a touchdown for OU. His second rushing touchdown of the day.
That's the threat. Guys, when they need it, when they get into the meat of their schedule and they need something against a TCU who plays quality defense, or you never know. You get into the thick of things. Next week at Iowa State, you never know. They play very good defense with Matt Campbell as their new head coach. That's going to be, I think, the difference for Oklahoma is Kyler's feet, Coach, because as a defensive coach, when a quarterback can run, man,
it changes
all bets
everything.
are off.
There's no question. He's got incredible feet, quickness, change of direction, speed. He got a great feel for it.
Oklahoma 9 rushing touchdowns in 2 weeks, and this young man is showing that he is the leader. Fox College Football is presented by AT&T Business, providing edge-to-edge intelligence. And welcome back. 49-14. OU on top of UCLA with 7:40 to go in the fourth. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and we are pleased to be joined by all-time winning coach Bob Stoops in the booth with us. Kyler Murray's having a really solid day. C.D. Lamb. I tell you, these two receivers, C.D. Lamb, Hollywood Brown, they're spectacular.
They are great players. C.D. As a true freshman was great last year. He's even better this year, asserting himself more. And Marquise, Hollywood can get by anybody.
And you recruited him.
I was on staff. Yeah, I did. Absolutely. I was in his kitchen recruiting him. He and his mother visiting with him. Quiet, unassuming guy. He was actually wondering if he could even play at Oklahoma, and we were
happy to get him as this ball picked up by Holmes.
Remember telling him, listen, we don't have anybody with your kind of speed, and he shows it now every week.
All right, let's go to Greg Wolf for a game break.
Gus, thanks. Top 25 battle in Columbia between Georgia and South Carolina. DeAndre Swift, some big shoes to fill running back for the Dogs. Getting off to a good start here. 17-yard score. Number 3, Georgia leads. Number 24, South Carolina, 14-7 first quarter. Gus, Joel, back to you.
What were your thoughts, Coach Stoops, watching that Georgia-Oklahoma semifinal game last year?
Well, it was a great game. Both teams played so hard, so well in so many aspects. It was kind of a flip of halves. In the first half, OU, did what they needed to do. In the second half, Georgia did. In overtime, they made a play better than we did. So at the end, really great game. It was difficult to watch, though. It's hard to be on the wrong end of it.
Do you recall your first conversation with Lincoln after that game?
Not really. I remember talking to him after our first loss, when we lost Iowa State, you got to let it go. Address issues that need to be addressed, but don't you hold on to negative feelings that they get you again. So you needed to let it pass and let it go and address what needs to be addressed, but you got to move past it.
Third down and short for UCLA, and the Bruins will pick up the first down. Irving, the nice spin for the first down.
I can't recall you ever having quite as young a team as this UCLA team, but take us through like what Chip is facing right now. Not only trying to build the culture back like you did in '99, but with young players.
Yeah, 2005 we had a huge graduating class in 2003 and 4. So we had a very inexperienced team in 2005, and it was rough. It was hard. You know, just they may know what to do. They don't have the experience to do it, or, you know, make mental mistakes. It's difficult. You know, they know how to take care of the football. There's so many issues with it, with inexperience.
Yeah, and UCLA, the 4th most inexperienced team in the country as far as underclassmen on the roster, 71%.
And it limits, you know, it limits your schemes. And sure, people want, oh, go up tempo. Well, if you don't have the experienced quarterback to go up tempo, you may just make things worse.
Yeah.
You know? So it's easy to say it. It's not easy to do it.
That's a great point. Where I live, actually, there's a lot of UCLA fans. It's in Southern California, and I had a lot of them this week ask me, like, well, it didn't look like Chip Kelly's offense. It's like, well, you know, he's just installing it at this point with a young quarterback. There's another good throw. I'm telling you, man, this kid has made 4 or 5 really impressive throws.
Great throw right there.
Chase Cota with the catch.
This is true freshman to true freshman.
The first year I went up tempo, I had Sam Bradford, who's going to end up winning the Heisman Trophy, and that was my purpose to do it. He was a bright, incredibly smart, newer offense. He could do it, but you can't do it with everyone.
First down at the 46 for the Bruins. Well, a run for me, who has 2 rushing touchdowns today. He'll get about 7.5, 8 yards.
Like, get a sense of how much better UCLA is. I mean, last year they ran the ball for just about 113 yards per game. They've done that today against Oklahoma. And defensively, as they push forward, looks like for a first down, they were last in the country stopping the run. They were giving up almost 290 yards a game on the ground, and today against one of the best rushing teams in America, they've only given up 159 yards on the ground. So I'm saying that for the UCLA fans. Hey, there is tangible growth even in these 2 losses.
Absolutely. Listen, we can really run the football.
And another good throw by Thompson Robinson. And this time it's caught by Babico. Coach, I guess I know you want to get back to your family and watch your kid play, but a $1 million question is, you're still a very, very young man. You got a birthday coming up next week. We're not going to tell your age. But is coaching out of the question for you? Are you done, or you still got that itch?
Well, I feel I'm done. You know, at the end of the day, I would never have walked away without a lot of soul searching if this is what I wanted to continue to do. So you never know God's plan for you, but I'll wait and see what he got in store for me.
You know, I heard something today that my partner is going to go coach at Colorado, so there may be a spot open next year with me. So that'll be fun.
Hold on. I'm not ready for that type of stress. I'm not ready for that type of stress.
Coach Stoops, thank you very much for joining us. And good luck this season watching your son play football.
Thank you, Gus. Gus, Joel, you guys are always great to be with. I appreciate you.
Love it. You were always the best.
You're
Thank
the
you.
18.
That's right. Amen. All right, 49-14. Oklahoma 4:14 to go. Lincoln Riley, I guess all the Oklahoma coaches growing his beard now. Coach Stoops has got his beard going. And
it's the deal, right?
4 minutes of play.
Now I know what was really happening. You see who was at the door?
His boss.
His boss.
Exactly. Miss Stoops. They throw this one in the corner, incomplete.
Carroll was saying, okay, we're done.
We're done. And he looked at us and said, it's time for me to go. But if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're really happy your team producing some solid play. You know, there were some mistakes.
Sure.
As there always are mistakes in the games, but
let me tell you
all in all,
what you want, though, to your point, when there are mistakes and coachable moments, you're still winning 49-14.
4th down and 6 for UCLA. They're going for it. Thompson Robinson in the end zone and touchdown. Nicely done as he puts that one on the money, and UCLA scores their 3rd touchdown of the game.
And for 3 straight series, I've seen growth, and that one to Michael Ezeki, a true freshman from Rancho Cucamonga, California. See a lot of true freshmen. Chase Cota caught a couple of big passes. Now 21, Michael Ezeki. He's 6'5", 215. You can see the specimen he is. Again, UCLA fans, this will turn around. It's his first career touchdown pass. Well done, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's good stuff, man. Congratulations.
Something to build on for the Bruins. They'll take on Fresno State next week at home. 3:44 to go in the fourth quarter. 49-21. Back to Norman after this.
So they have all time on stuff. Oklahoma, UCLA close.
49-21 OU. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson throws his first career touchdown pass. That must be a real motivator for this young true freshman.
Well, you always remember it. Always. You know, he'll remember it for the rest of his life. And he's going to remember that came in this game at Oklahoma, in a game in which he grew up. I'm telling you, the last 4 series have been really good from him. He's made good decisions. And here's the thing. They have not protected the passer at all. So he's been doing this in the fire. Guys all over him, in his face, making good, clean throws down the field. No interceptions against a defense that was very aggressive. So I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. I cannot say this enough. The future is really bright at UCLA, while the present is awful bright here at Oklahoma. Oklahoma has shown me now in back-to-back weeks they are a playoff contender. There's no doubt in my mind.
And this one down in the end zone. Let's check in with Greg Wolf for an update.
Off as Scott Frost makes his head coaching debut for Nebraska. Highly touted true freshman quarterback. Look at Adrian Martinez go 41 yards for the score. Colorado still leads 14-7 second quarter. Gus, Joel, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. And your alma mater, though, leading on the roll, Joel.
Yeah, Greg, where were those 2 highlights? That's going to be a really good game. Obviously, the emotions for Scott Frost and that team playing their first game. They were rained out last week against Akron. But Colorado's quietly very good and has some really talented skill position players.
Tanner Mordecai is checked in at quarterback. That's because Austin Kendall injured his knee last week against Florida Atlantic and is not available today. Time now for the exception-shattering drive of the game, sponsored by Buick.
Well, for me, the expectation-shattering drive of the game was just a 3-play drive. All of a sudden, OU was behind the chains. 3rd and 14, Gus, and then all of a sudden, Hollywood. Lights, camera, action. It was 7-7 at the time, and that set the tone for the rest of the day. It set the tone for the special teams, the defense, the offense the rest of the day, and that was really the game changer for OU in this one.
Now they run it with pleasure. So Tanner Mordecai in at quarterback, 6'2", 206 freshman from Waco, Texas. Last week against Florida Atlantic. Had a nice game. 2 for 2 for 37 yards, a couple of big throws, and he's one of the top dual threat quarterbacks in the nation coming out of Midway High School.
Yeah, he was the number 10 rated QB, and he received offers from Georgia, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, highly recruited. He's a guy, I think that he's got a bright future here. I think Austin Kendall, who is not suited up today after going into the sideline hard a week ago, but Austin Kendall will be the backup and then potentially play when Kyler leaves. But Mordecai has a solid future. And remember, even though he's in the game, they're not burning red shirts of these true freshmen. You can play in 4 games, retain the red shirt. That is a new rule this year in college football. I love the rule for this reason right here. 2:22 to go, 49-21, and you get to come in and get your feet wet in college football. I love the rule.
Second down and 10 at the 43. Mordecai handing it off. Pleasure again. It looks like some interesting things have finally been sifted out at Alabama in terms of their quarterback position.
Yeah, and Tua is going to be their guy, Tagovailoa, as he should. I mean, he gives them a better opportunity to be more dynamic offensively.
I think that's the greatest play, by the way, I've ever seen in a college football game. That touchdown pass in the national championship.
In the situation?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's especially after the sack. Well, he knew he couldn't go to the sideline and face Nick Saban after taking the sack, so he had to throw a touchdown.
They're down at 8 at the 45.
My hope is that they do the right thing for Jalen Hurts and retain his red shirt this year. And the way that they do that is just not play him over that 4-game threshold. And the reason is because he's going to graduate in December. And then as a graduate transfer, if he can redshirt this year, then he'll have 2 years of eligibility left. If I'm on the coaching staff, or if I'm advising that coaching staff, which they would never ask me, but do the right thing by the player. Allow Jalen those 2 years of eligibility after he graduate transfers out, because he's going to have to. Tua is younger than him. Tua has proved that he's going to be the quarterback down there. And so you're likely going to see Jalen Hurts somewhere else.
Some big games going on in college football today. Most notably, Clemson, Texas A&M in College Station. Who do you like in that one?
It's tough to go against Clemson. I love what A&M did in week 1 under Jimbo Fisher. They ran the ball for over 500 yards. They didn't do it against Clemson. Clemson brings in one of the most talented defensive lines maybe ever in college football. Probably 3 first-round draft picks and maybe a 4th guy that's going to be a 2nd-round draft pick. And I think that their quarterback situation with Trevor Lawrence, a true freshman, Kelly Bryant, the sophomore, it's going to play itself out to the point where their cream will rise to the top. So I like Clemson in that game. Probably closer than you expect, though, riding the emotion of Kyle Field.
Our college football triple-header continues next as rivals Iowa and Iowa State go head-to-head. Then a Pac-12 powerhouse matchup as Bryce Love and Stanford battles USC, excuse me. It's all right here on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Who do you like in that Stanford-USC game in Palo Alto?
If I had to go in one direction or the other, I'd probably lean Stanford. They showed that they could put up a lot of yards and points even without Bryce Love last week. He was shut down by San Diego State, and yet KJ Costello and JJ Arcega-Whiteside lit up the Aztecs in the second half for a tune of over 300 yards passing. So the fact that USC didn't stop the run last week against UNLV lets me think Stanford's going to win that.
Our game here, though, 49-21, Oklahoma dominant. But Chip Kelly saw some good things, partner, from his team, and it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out for both of these schools.
What's interesting for me is each of these coaching staffs, when they turn on this tape and they go to teach, the Oklahoma coaches are going to be looking for what Oklahoma did wrong to try to coach them on that. Chip is going to be looking for what his guys did right in order to show them what they can be moving forward. Contrasting styles moving forward. Chip's going to know what to do, and he's going to get them going.
All right, so the final score from Norman, 49-21. Oklahoma improves to 2-0. Kyler Murray was wonderful. 19 of 33, 306 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 10 carries, 69 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns for Murray. CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, 146, and a touchdown, including a 66-yard punt return. And Hollywood Brown, 4 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Now let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Gus, thank you. Well, Chip Kelly said before the game that he feared Kyler Murray's athleticism. We saw that today. 5 touchdowns, 3 in the air, 2 on the ground. What stood out to you?
Yeah, they were pretty aggressive against our run. Gave us some trouble early. Had to make some adjustments. Got Kyler involved a little bit. He made a couple really nice plays there, and we're a lot tougher to defend when you've got that kind of athleticism back there.
Well, I got to ask, Coach, it's so hard when you see a guy like Rodney Anderson on the bench in his street clothes. Is there a further update to provide on the knee?
No, not yet. You know, we're hoping for the best, but we'll get in and see how he's feeling.
Something that stood out to us from Coach Stoops, he said that the defense this year knew that they had to be better. Where have you seen the change?
I think really just our overall talent level is getting better, our depth is getting better, and then our mentality. And I think we've got some really good young leaders, and we're still making some mistakes, but we're flying around and making a lot of plays right now.
All right, fun to watch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thank you very much, Jenny. The final score here at Oklahoma Memorial Stadium is the Sooners 49, the Bruins 21. Join us after the break for plenty more post-game coverage.